We'll call the meeting in order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we got the agenda in front of us here. Everybody's had a chance to look at it. Is there any additions or corrections? Now, is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, previous board minutes from December 2nd. Are there any additions or corrections to those?
So move. Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public comment. Now's a chance for anybody in the public that would like to come forward and make a comment. This is your opportunity. Okay, seeing none. We have a public hearing at 9:05. It's not quite 9:05 yet, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. There's 5 items on the consent agenda. Any questions on those?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. You guys want to move forward with some action items here first?
Got 3 minutes.
When?
You want to do the number 1, consider approving a 2026-2027 MPCA feedlot program delegation agreement work plan. Jeremy, are you?
The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency County Feedlot Program Delegation Agreement Work Plan is in front of you. The state delegates some of the feedlot program down to the counties. Our responsibles are implementing the state feedlot regulations for feedlots that are fewer than 1,000 animal units. The responsibilities for us include the registration, permit inspections, education assistance, and complaint follow-ups. In the delegation agreement, they basically just set it forth for us to answer the questions, how we're gonna handle it, and basically agreeing with their recommendations or rules. It is basically the same as what has been presented over the years, just a slight change in the actual inspection rate we're gonna do.
And what is that? More? Increased? More?
It'll be the same number yet. It's based on the number of registered feedlots you have.
Right, a percentage, right?
Yep, 7%. So the adjustments that we decided to make are sites that have not been keeping adequate land application records. That seems to be our most non-compliance. I'm gonna bump that up a couple from, we were doing 1. I'm gonna bump that up to a minimum of 3. And then I'm gonna drop the sites that have required to register that have never been inspected. I'm gonna drop that down by 2 as we're getting those narrowed down a fair amount. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much the exact same as it has been.
Okay.
Need a motion for this, or?
Yep. Need a motion to approve the feedlot program agreement.
This is pretty much the same one we had all along, except they're up and down in a couple of numbers.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept this program.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. You can go. It's exactly 9:05. We'll start our public hearing. We need a motion to come out of regular session to go into public hearing. Is there a
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. So I don't know, Brent, you want to come forward and explain what this public hearing is all about? We've had, what, this is our fourth?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is our fourth public hearing to gather input about possibly making the transition for our auditor treasurer and also our recorded to be elected to appointed under Minnesota statute. Minnesota counties have that authority to do so. And there has been a big push through Minnesota as far as a lot of counties that have gone to this to have them appointed instead of elected for more kind of oversight and also at the same time efficiency in the workplace and kind of continuity of operations with having people that are vetted and qualified for the position instead of a political outcome for those positions. So that's kind of the theory of it. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just let me know.
So this is a chance for the public to comment on this. Is there anybody from the public that have come forward and comment on this? Please do so. State your name and where you're from.
My name is John Haynes. I'm from Houston. Some people know me as Red John. I have a lot of concerns about this. Our democracy is a rather fragile flower with checks and balances designed to be overseen by the voters. This motion would take that power away from the citizens of Houston County and put it into the small group. Democracy needs to be protected. My 7 decades on this planet, I've learned avoid decisions that are not easily reversed. If this were a legal contract, I'd be looking for the remedies. But if this is the wrong move, it won't be easily reversed. So I would encourage this board to think about that. How do we reverse this if this is the wrong decision? I would say no. That's my comment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Seeing as how there's no other public comment, input from this public hearing, is there a motion to come out of public hearing and go back to regular session?
So move.
There's
Second.
any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. We have a recognition at 9:30, but I don't see, we want to wait till then? Would that be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Texting you, I'm saying.
You never know. Sometimes it
Mary's
works
not
that way.
here and she needs to be here. All right. Well, we can move on to number 2, consider approving social work internship agreement with Warren State. John, you want to bring that?
So this is, we've had a variety of internship agreements with different post-secondary institutions over the years. For whatever reason, we haven't had a agreement with Winona State for a while, so this is reestablishing that. It's a 5-year agreement, so they can have social work students intern here. There's actually a student who is interested in interning with us. So we want to get this done to have that person start in the coming year. We see this as a real good opportunity for us to, I don't know, kind of a recruitment of sorts, as those people have an opportunity to work with us. We've had a number of interns who've then gone on to work for us. So we see it as an opportunity to help build the profession, but also show Houston County as a good opportunity for people in their career.
I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, is it?
I can't think of a way.
We do this with the law enforcement side of it with Winona, and
Good
it
idea.
works really well, so,
With Winona State or?
yep.
Okay.
Yep, the last 4 interns have come from Winona State, so they have a great program up there, so I'd make a motion to approve that.
Is there a second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, we'll move on to number 3, consider approving biennial healthcare access plan.
I'm gonna have Karen come up for this too, So, as part of the Minnesota healthcare programs, medical assistance or Medicaid, we have to have a biennial plan that ensures access to those programs for people who receive that service through MA. This is a lot about transportation and making sure that people are either reimbursed for transportation or we're able to provide that transportation. So I'll hand it over to Karen. She can give you a little more depth on that.
Sure. And the contract that's in there is basically one from the state. They establish rates, they establish what we can and can't pay. So by us completing this agreement, it's basically saying we're going to adhere to the standards. The part that we need to submit with this as well is we do have a contract with SEMCAC that will be coming forth soon for approval. So we do need to submit that to the state so they can see that that is a contracted provider we have. We also enter into agreements with other providers that do more specialized transportation. And we have to ensure that they've got their proper credentialing on file before we can make payment to them. The big change with this program is right now, the counties are administering and processing all of the mileage vouchers as of July 1st, and this is state time, so things can always change. But as of July 1st, the state will be paying the mileage portion. So clients will work directly with the state of Minnesota. How that's gonna look, we haven't heard all of that yet, but just so you have, an update on that. We will still pay for any meals and lodging that people incur. But people have to verify that they've attended a medical appointment. We need to have verification before we make any of these kind of payments, so. But this plan, by approving it, I will get that submitted to the state. The state takes a look at it and makes sure the lines that we have to fill in are completed correctly, and then they send the approval back.
And this is standard across the board, we do this every year,
Yeah, it's 2
Every
years.
2 years.
every 2 years.
Yep.
Okay,
One additional thing I'd note is another acronym in our world of acronyms is non-emergency medical transportation, or what would that be?
And
NMET. So if you see that, that's what this is related to. Also, with regard to MAXA, there's a legislative initiative to try and have the state take that meals and lodging piece as well. The concern that counties have is that by the state taking the mileage portion and keeping a portion of that reimbursement with the county, it gets confusing. If you see that at AMC or you're seeing that bouncing around, it's kind of related to the same issue.
It looks like there's also a requirement to have it's a pre-approval or prior authorization for stays, is that right?
Correct.
So that has to be done beforehand, so it could be I mean, it's only in those cases where it's planned then probably, because that could be,
There are, if there's, and I didn't mean to walk at you there, but if it's an emergent situation, we can do
Okay.
an approval after the fact,
Okay.
because we know not every medical thing is a planned thing.
exactly.
So, yeah, and that, there's provisions in there too where it's called the 30-60 rule. So if people need primary care, if they need to go outside of that 30-mile, we typically need to get verification of that. Or 60 miles for preventative care, which for us, we just lost a provider. So sometimes for us, depending on where people live in the county, we'll have to see how that works. But
Okay.
that's
Gonna
good.
change.
So the contract that's coming up with SEMCAC, that's due to transportation?
Yeah, that's the medical mileage.
We need to approve this first before we do that one.
Yep.
Yeah, the SEMCAC one isn't here today.
Right.
That'll be
That'll
coming.
be another-
Yeah, but this
Makes
is,
sense.
This needs to get,
they're together, but yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign.
Thank
All right. Thank you, Karen.
Are you gonna stick around for?
I can.
Number 4, consider initiating a competitive search for a 1 FTE child support officer. Brent?
So as you see in the agenda, we had 2 individuals that are resigning from the county, leaving some open positions. This first one is a child support officer. That would be in kind of Karen's silo of people that she oversees. That position is basically what it is. They are the ones that make sure the child support stuff is getting collected and pursues that. That is a 100% funded position from the state and federal monies that come through, so that is no levied tax dollars. So, but that position is gonna be coming vacant shortly, so we're just kind of looking to possibly fill that position.
I'd make a motion for approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Number 5, consider initiating a competitive search for a 1 FTE child protection social worker, a C41.
So this one would actually be under Bethany. This is the child protection social worker. They're the ones that are making sure they're protecting children and going out there in the field. This is, the child protection social workers is a 24/7 on-call sort of situation. So these specific social workers are kind of valuable in that if in the middle of the night, the law enforcement runs into an issue or a situation that they deem that a child is in need of some child protection social work, that there's an on-call that they call. And so we kind of leave that with Bethany if she has any more that she would like to add to that.
I don't think there's a lot to add other than, yes, those staff are here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and then we are mandated by the state to have 24/7 on-call service. So our 5 child protection workers and our lead are in that rotation. And so, if we take a link out of that rotation, you are then burdening those that are left, which we'll be covering, hopefully just in a time of waiting for a replacement. But child protection is heavily mandated by the state. There are many guidelines that we have to follow, and our work is very prescriptive in that manner. And it is an important hire for us.
There's 5 in that.
There's 5 child protection workers currently, yes.
We usually,
4 if you lost
Correct.
this one.
how's our turnover in that area? And then secondly, do we usually have a good number of applicants for those positions or not?
Well, I blame myself for this because I was telling the region supervisors that I had gone a whole year without turnover, and then I came back the next day and got a
Spoke
resignation.
too soon.
I did. Really, Abby is our most recent child protection hire, and she's been here 2 years. So we did go 2 years in child protection without turnover. I would say that is the area likely with the most turnover. And sometimes people will come and start in child protection and then move to a different social work unit within the county. Not many of them come back to child protection or start somewhere and then come in. But we do have, you know, a staff person that's been in child protection for 10 years. So it depends on the person. It depends on, you know, what they have going on. The last CP opening then, I do think we probably had we had a decent applicant pool. I would say we've maybe interviewed 4 or 5, but again, that was 2 years ago, so my memory may not be.
Well, it just depends, yeah,
Yeah.
right, who's
Yeah, I
looking
don't
at.
recall that as being a particularly difficult recruitment.
We're at graduation time for colleges, so
Yep.
that is helpful. And then, you know, also with the Winona State contract that you just approved, they are a 4E school. And that is child protection specific, and so, you know, maybe they have some 4E graduates in this December class that will be looking for employment.
Great.
I'd also add that, you know, in other places I've been part of or been aware of, I think Houston County is blessed with some pretty solid stability in child protection. It's a hard job, really a hard job.
Yeah.
And we have some people who are really uncommonly committed to that. Bethany does a great job of leading that group, as does our lead. And I just think we're very fortunate there.
Good. Important.
Yep.
Somebody make a motion?
You should.
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion. Sorry, I was caught up in the conversation.
There's been a
I'll make a
motion.
motion
Is there
to
a
approve.
second? Yep.
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? I just want to say, you know, we missed the fact that Nicole and Abigail are leaving us, so we want to thank them for their 2 years of service with the county too, so. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we have everybody here. We want to start the,
Recognition, we got it out of the way.
They're getting in here.
We got him.
I'll just kick off here and Jordan can add more comments and,
you're not going to get away with that easy, Mary.
no.
You're well deserving.
We are thrilled to have Mary receive this award. And I think it's really important to note that there's, you know, Mary's been with us for many years, and there are many families that can attest to the impact that she's had on their lives. This isn't an award for just being around long enough. This is an award that is, there's only one in the state each year. And it has to do not with the number of years, but what you put into those years. And Mary's among the best in the state. We are thrilled that she got this award, thrilled that she's been part of our Houston County family for so many years. So I'll turn it over to Jordan to say a few more things.
Yeah, just a little bit about the Betty Hubbard Maternal and Child Health Leadership Award. Betty Hubbard was a longtime advocate of health needs for mothers and children, and the original member of the Maternal Child Health Advisory Committee. And so they've dedicated this award in her honor. This award is bestowed on individuals, teams, and organizations making significant contributions to improve health outcomes for Minnesota women, children, and families in 2 categories listed, statewide level and community level. The community level recognizes contributions to maternal and child health with outcomes that impact an entire community or targeted population within a community, with some other requirements being advancing or improving health status of mothers, children, and families in Minnesota, at a community level, developing successful innovative programs in maternal, child health, and family health in Minnesota, and then advocating for maternal and child health with decision-making, and then collaborating with health, education, and social services and other decision makers and service providers, all of which Mary has done in the many years of services she's provided to Houston County. And so writing a recommendation for a letter for her for this award was a no-brainer for me. I'm very pleased that she was accepted for this, and attending her program to get this award was touching, and I'm very proud of her, and just wanted to put that out to you guys so you could see it. And I thank Mary, and it just was a very touching ceremony for me to attend. So thank you, Mary. Congratulations. I'm really proud of you.
Great honor.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Good job.
Would you like to say a few words, Mary?
Not really.
You have to have a speech. It's like winning an Oscar, so. I mean-
I had a little speech that I gave at the presentation, and I think the piece that I would take from that is a quote from Paul Wellstone that says, "We all do better when we all do better." And I believe that with my heart. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I should also thank my Public Health and Human Service team. They have been my partners through this forever.
That's a way cool award. That's a way cool
Can I
award.
just say that portion, please sign in so we have you all on the minutes. Or if you didn't, and you came in and didn't sign. I'm your public service announcement, please sign in.
Well, we want to thank Mary for many years of service to Houston County, so.
Yep.
This is John's last meeting.
Maybe it is. Should we say something about that?
Yeah.
Done this week?
Next week, eh?
The party is Friday.
Yeah.
So, just on another note, John, I believe this will be your last meeting.
It is, yes.
Well, we want to thank you for your years of service to Houston County as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we should give him a clap.
Yeah. Good job.
It was sad to see the Packers lose, John. but-
It was a hard game.
Now I know what you Viking fans feel like.
That's funny.
Who are the Packers? Is that a soccer team?
Sometimes.
All right, back to our action items here. Number 6, consider approving law enforcement contract services for the city of Spring Grove. Brian?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm here today to hopefully get approval for a new contract for Spring Grove. We currently are coming to an end of our 3-year contract with Spring Grove. It's been a very good 3 years for both sides. The original contract was for 2 deputies, and I have an administrative assistant, and then all the expenses that went along with that. So we did hire 2 new deputies for that. Currently, Spring Grove City Council advisor budget had to go down for the law enforcement. So I did propose a new contract for you. It would include 1 full-time deputy and half administrative assistants plus expenses. The calculation I used for the salary is from Deputy Gerke, who was one of the 2 that was hired for this position, this contract, and that is a higher number. She was hired a little higher salary than Deputy Nagel was. That's my calculations, I used that. The new contract is a little bit different. It is also still a 3-year contract. Me and County Attorney Bublitz to go over it, made some modification changes, cleaned up some wording. I did ask to put in there, in the termination clause, that it would be with cause. Because the previous one, the current one, there's no, just cancel at any time. I don't feel there's any security in that at all, so that's why I requested that be added. It went down to paper one position deputy and a half-time administrative assistant still. I think that's really about the most change. Otherwise, we kept all the, just 70 hours every 2 weeks instead of 70 hours every week, so it's half. And right now, the proposed one, they're at 70 hours every 2 weeks, but it won't be a set time. City mayor and also one of the council members suggested that we wouldn't have set hours, we'd just be in there at certain times throughout the day or throughout the week. So it wouldn't be consistent, so some people wouldn't know exactly we're there, so that's what their concern was. I did talk to the city mayor this morning. He advised that the city attorney hasn't got back to him yet on the contract that we sent him, but he didn't have any issues with it. Looking to see if you have any questions or.
They want one full deputy and assistant
Yes.
for work or assistant as a cop?
No, it's just an administrative assistant, so paperwork.
Paperwork.
Yes. And that's what was in the current contract also.
And then that was for how much?
This current contract, the new one coming up, I'm proposing is for $220,000.
220,000, okay.
So did we get a review from, like, from the county perspective, like from Carol or the budget, how that looks as far as doing that moving forward besides 1 year?
For the Spring Grove contract or for my budget, I guess?
Both.
Okay, so the Spring Grove budget, we did go over, and Carol, do you want to come up maybe? Or you want to comment on it? I don't want to speak for her, since she's here. But yes, I gave her the numbers, and she didn't have any issues with it, I don't believe, so.
You had sent me the numbers for each of the positions, and I had gone through and changed them and then sent them back to you.
Correct.
And then even for the Spring Grove contract, you used the numbers that I had given you for Amy and Lauren.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so that's all.
Yep, and then
That's all.
the incidentals, the squad cars and stuff, I got those numbers.
And that's all included in the
In the
220,000.
20,000. And like I previously said, the budget's a little bit interesting because like I budget for the squad car every year, but we don't buy a squad car every year. So basically it has to build up.
So looking at that email you sent out, Sheriff, there was breakdown justifications on how this is all gonna play out as far as how your budget goes, and it looks like, if I read that right, there's, this year anyways, is about $25,000 different in savings, is that correct?
Where'd this email come from?
Which,
I was looking at, I believe,
which budget?
you went to her, I think it got sent out, you're the one that sent it.
Yeah, it wasn't in the packet.
Yeah, that was the summary where you had said
Yeah, summary.
Gary's
breakdown.
wage was this, and taking off the deputy, or the one squad car, and
So yes,
it's a little different because I had sent you on last week, the actual difference calculated, because we'll be reducing the current budget for the 5% insurance instead of the 8.5. And then Carrie's salary was a little different than what you had on there because part of hers gets charged to the permit to carry.
And then,
So,
and I didn't include the step increase too, I don't believe. So she gave me those numbers, the more accurate numbers than I had. So my budget for next year, if we're talking about the other deputy,
Yeah, that's what we need to back
So-
up and talk about here, because Spring Grove contract originally, we hired 2 new deputies to serve that contract, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to 1 deputy to serve that contract?
But we're not going back, but we are changing it to 1.
Right. And so now
And I-
we're trying to find a way to keep the other extra deputy.
Correct. Because Spring Grove, they advise their budget cannot handle that large of a number. So since Minimum Service Assistant Carrie Hearn's retiring, I talked to her yesterday. She'll give me a for sure date starting the next month, which she said her very last date of work would be June 1st. So that's what the calculations I gave Carol to use, even though she might retire early.
About May 31st. Makes a
May
difference
31st,
between June 1st, because that's
Yeah,
another
sorry.
month of.
One day before, May 31st. And then keeping Deputy Nagel on my budget. And then to make up the difference, there is a difference, roughly 90,000. I was, at least for next year, I was going to not replace 1 squad car and also want to replace that squad car's equipment, which is pretty much basically the difference. I believe there's like maybe, my calculation had like $1,500 over. Is that about right?
Based on those numbers,
Yeah.
yeah.
We still got an extra squad car then.
What's that?
We have an extra squad car.
We're not, I was gonna replace 2 squad cars, now I'm only gonna replace 1.
How many did we buy from Spring Grove?
We bought 2 from them.
So we got 1 extra one there then, right?
No, we still got the same number of employees. We still have squad cars.
But the one vehicle we bought isn't used as a squad. It's used as a.
Transport, you
transport.
replaced, yes,
Right.
Talking about the Blue Explorer
yes.
transport.
We just bought that from, and put that as a transport since it was blue, and just use a different vehicle for that Spring Grove car. Realistically, like I emailed Carol, this might not be sustainable for years in the future, but is gonna take care of it for next year. And then next year, we'll have to discuss and look at what the budget can look like, and if we can do something different, or if we do have to lay somebody off, at least we got another year of the deputy.
So would this just be a 1-year contract then, or?
I'm sorry, this is a 3-year contract, with a 5%
Negotiated?
increase each year after that.
Okay, so negotiated each year then, is that right?
Just in the contract, 5% increase.
Okay, so they're at the end of that first contract, is that right? Is that why they didn't renew? And what, can anybody talk or speak to Spring Grove's decision not to do this? It was purely financial because they're trying to cut their budget, is that right? It's not the service
No.
that Houston County provided?
They said many times over, it's not the service at all. Even the mayor told me directly, he can't believe it's coming out of his mouth, but he's happy with law enforcement that we're providing.
Well, that's good.
Yes,
Because my question or concern is the workload. I mean, so right now, there's 2 deputies basically covering 80 hours a week,
70,
70, and you're cutting it to
35 basically a week.
35.
Correct.
But the call volume's still gonna be there,
Absolutely, the call volume's still gonna be there, so we're still gonna be responding.
but not getting paid for it.
Correct.
It's coming out of other deputies that are working the road and I mean,
Right. Yeah, I mean, just like township people who live in the cities, we provide them the same service we would have to.
but you're providing that service now, but it's the same workload, is it not?
Correct. We're in this, basically the same workload, we anticipate the same workload, but now Spring Grove is paying for basically 1 deputy instead of 2.
They wanna pay less and get the same amount of coverage.
Well, they won't have a deputy, 2 deputies assigned to the town itself, though. Just like a township doesn't have a deputy assigned. Because if a township.
Township's not changing, Spring Grove should.
No, right.
So that's kind of mute in my mind.
Well, the city of Spring Grove can go with no law enforcement, then we're really in a jam. Because they have.
No, they're in a jam.
They're in a
We
jam.
wouldn't be in a jam.
Heights don't have law enforcement.
No.
You guys cover that, and I
The
mean.
problem with that is that if you don't have a contract, now we have less deputies do the work, do the same amount of work. That's the problem.
How is that?
Because we're gonna get the same calls in Spring Grove.
You're gonna only respond to emergency calls just like you would at, like
My
Hooper or
definition of
Brown.
emergency and yours is totally different, so that's the
Oh.
problem with it, of the state statute calling it same emergency.
Brownsville and Heights, and if we respond to their calls, don't you?
Absolutely do. But if you talk to Brownsville, they take care of a lot of stuff themselves.
Yeah.
And Brownsville's and Eitzen's calls for service are extremely low. I can't even, I gave you the numbers before, but it's like 1/10 basically with Spring Grove. Spring Grove calls are basically the same average per officer deputy as City of Caledonia, all the other cities, so, I mean, realistically, 2 officers for the city of Spring Grove is, I mean, an average or barely the average. But I can't do anything when Spring Grove doesn't have the budget.
Well, when I went to their preliminary budget hearing, they voted to renew the contract, 2 deputy contract.
Correct. And then,
Then what changed from there?
well, from what I can't answer that. From what I heard, that one of the council members misunderstood the vote. So that's what I heard. I
Okay.
wasn't there, you were there, so I can't.
So I watched their meetings, I read their minutes. So when the last meeting in November, when they canceled this contract, they voted once to cancel it, and it was a tie vote. So then, that means that it failed. So then they voted again.
Okay.
And then they got enough votes to cancel it.
Okay.
Even with one absence, so. I mean, I just don't, I don't like the way they're running this thing here. And it makes me nervous, servicing their needs. I mean, we didn't ask for this.
No.
They came to us, and Jana explained that to them at the meeting, the city administrator. They came to us to service their police, their law enforcement.
Correct.
So we did. And we went out and we bought their 2 squads. We hired 2 more deputies to do that work. And then now all of a sudden on a whim, they're gonna cancel it and lower the budget by $190,000.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I could, first of all, the first concern was the perception in the city, which we totally turned that around. I mean, city residents, for the most part, really like the sheriff's office being there. Now, we have new council members, new mayor, or majority of council members, they're all new. So they have a different perspective on what's important to them. They also advised they said their bonding rating went down, so they didn't help their budget. And they've been pushing off road work, which they wanted to prioritize more.
They want a daycare very bad too.
I'm sorry.
They want a daycare real bad over there, and that's a lot of the problem here.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Because realistically, I mean, they could go without a contract, not have law enforcement officer in the city patrolling, responding quicker. But if they don't, then we're stuck with the same number of calls for the most part. You're right, there might be some barking dogs or something that we're not going to take care of, type thing. You're right there. So the numbers would go down a hair bit, but not a lot. Because we only enforce maybe 6 city ordinances, maybe. I can't tell you.
There's a list of 6 or so in the contract here.
Attachment A, that's what the ordinance, only ones we enforce.
So on the termination clause in the new contract, it's 120 days? No, the new one is 30 days. The old one was 120.
Correct. But it's with cause this time, so you have to have a reason. Before it was just, anytime you wanted to. So that's why we made it lower, because they had to have a reason for it.
So what would be with cause? How would that What's the,
A deputy does something that's inappropriate, possibility. I believe if we have it in there, can't be a budgetary issue either. Anything egregious, or on the opposite side, if we have an issue with them, that they do something that we don't agree with, then we can cancel and get out of it quicker.
Is there a copy of that? I didn't get that emailed to me.
The contract?
Revised new one, or the proposed new one.
Oh, I thought it sent it with,
those new ones in the packet here.
yeah.
That's the one you're talking about.
I've got the old one here, right
Oh,
here.
okay.
that I
You're
pinned.
comparing the old one.
And sorry, I'm having my administrative assistant, she's probably done with it, she was going to do one that had strike-throughs. It'd be easier to compare, so we need two of them.
So in the old contract, you pointed out that, we would hire 2 new deputies, or we would designate 2 deputies to that contract.
Correct.
The new one doesn't say anything about that.
No, we will not be a one deputy assigned to it at all. It'll be a variety of deputies throughout the day and night that will be sent over there. And the reason I put it at 70 hours every 2 weeks instead of 35 hours every week, just in case there's issues that come out, that we have more flexibility there.
So I was looking through the budget here that Carol sent out on the, what you used.
Is it the main budget one?
Yeah, for 146,000 for deputy, half administrative assistant is 41,000. Now, the administrative assistant, I remember when we started the Spring Grove contract, we had a person that was a .08, we made him full-time,
Actually,
That's .4.
.4, whatever.
she was,
We made her full-time, and the Spring Grove contract covered that, correct?
covered half.
Covered half.
The county budget covered.
So how is this gonna get covered in this reduced?
Well, Spring Grove's still paying half of her salary, so it's exactly the same. And then Carrie O'Hearn's retiring this year. That makes up the deputy.
Well, that's 6 months, though. I mean, you're still gonna,
Right, but I mean, that's what we're
I
trying to,
thought that's gonna cover keeping the second deputy we hired.
correct, there's a way we subtract a squad car and have the equipment. Makes up
So
that
we're
difference.
using capital purchases to pay for
A body,
salary.
correct.
Is that sustainable? I mean, you're
And
gonna,
like I said before, it's not sustainable, but it's sustainable for 1 year at least, till we can look at it a little different, possibly. I mean, we got one more employee for 1 more year. I would think that'd be a win.
see, what bothers me, Brian, is that when we had this discussion, when we took on this contract, it was discussed in a workshop meeting, which wasn't recorded, that if this contract were to go away, the 2 extra deputies would be reduced.
You're talking 3 years ago?
Yep,
Okay. I wasn't there, so.
you were there. You were the chief
At the
deputy.
work group?
Yeah, you,
I don't remember that conversation. but okay.
you and Mark were there, yep.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen down the road with, Spring Grove if they have just cause to cancel it in 30 days? Then what are we gonna do?
Then we lay that person off. And I'm assuming if, with cause, if there's something egregious that happened, it'd be against that deputy, or a deputy.
So
By keeping this other deputy on, what's that increase his budget for the jail?
Nothing with jail. The sheriff's office side?
it'd be on his sheriff,
Sheriff?
it'd be a sheriff budget right here.
Yeah.
So,
I believe it with Gary retired May 31st and keeping Deputy Nagel on, it was like 91,000, I think I had. Remember the difference?
No, I think we'd actually have to pull it,
Yeah,
all the different numbers together.
yeah,
I just
Is
got
that how-
I just got that one this morning.
Okay.
But the request today is to approve the Spring Grove
Yeah, this had
contract.
nothing to do with my
So-
contract.
Yeah, but it's
It's
all
still-
intertwined because we hired 2 deputies to serve the Spring Grove contract and now we're reducing it to 1.
Correct? And if
So
we
it's,
can't,
it's all together here.
somewhat, but if we can't figure out my sheriff's budget, and you're saying, nope, it's not correct, then we'd have to lay somebody off. One person, not 2 people.
But that was not your plan. Your plan is to keep them.
Absolutely not. The plan was to keep it for as long as we could. And Spring Grove's issue back then was just perception of the citizens. But the new council, new mayor come in, and they have different beliefs.
No, I understand that.
So nothing I can do about that. If they offer to keep one, I think this one's better than none.
So in the numbers that I got from you, Carol, the budget increase would be 4.55%. And that's just strictly for the wages?
Right.
For his sheriff's budget.
Right.
So how does that affect our overall budget? Do we know yet?
It's $100 and some thousand, which is like a 1% or,
Okay,
you know,
So we'd be
Probably-
over our preliminary levy then.
that's what I'm asking.
we would, except we haven't made the adjustment to all of the salary lines for the reduction in the insurance.
Okay.
8.5 to 5.
But that's countywide though.
Yeah, that's kind of countywide. And that was actually taken into consideration on those numbers.
So it's already
Okay.
figured in.
Right.
Okay.
They,
It's kind of a little bit twofold too, because you're looking at restructuring some of your administration, correct?
Correct.
And then you have the Spring Grove contract and you're kind of intertwining both of them to come up with a balanced budget or as close to a balanced budget as you can. So
Yeah.
you also, I mean, you're looking at the job that Carrie's doing. I mean, those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
Correct. Some of the duties will be put on the deputies themselves, that the administrative assistants are doing now. And then Carrie and Lauren will be tasked with a little more duties that Carrie was doing. And also, some of my lead jailers will be doing stuff also, taking on warrants and several other things that Carrie does right now and Lauren and Holly do.
And then the projected workload of the deputies on the road is still the calls based on the volume that you've had over the last couple of years here.
Correct.
If you take, the calls are still gonna be there.
Right.
If you take somebody away, those calls are still gonna be there.
So the
Someone-
county's gonna subsidize that?
Someone has to.
We still have to take the calls.
Yeah, but the county's gonna be subsidizing that. Spring Grove's calls.
There's a strong possibility that I might be taking those calls. If
Yes,
you don't have a deputy to do it.
right,
Is Spring Grove my responsibility?
right? Well, that's your question. I mean, that's your answer to give. I can't give that, but.
Well, I'm just asking you a simple question.
Well, it's gonna take.
We all have to work together on this.
Let me ask you this way, though, maybe we're looking a little different. If Brownsville grew and grew and grew, they're not required to have a police department. They grew to 5,000 people. They're not required to have a police department. If they never had one, are we still subsidizing them? Or if they make it the police department, are they subsidizing the county as a whole? You can look at 2 different ways.
But I don't think Brownsville growing.
No,
Oh.
not all, but
I mean, I look at Spring Grove as the same as Houston, Caledonia, La Crescent. They have their budgets that they levy their taxpayers, their residents to fund their law enforcement.
correct.
Is it
And
legal?
now the Spring Grove says, well, no, we're not gonna totally fund that now. We're gonna back that off.
Do we know
I mean,
that's
they're-
what they're
they're-
gonna do? I'm just a little unclear on what Spring Grove's interest is in this, because I understand they're looking for some, answers on how to fill their, either somebody for 220 or whatever that 218.
218.
Yeah, so they have a budget, but, it's probably gonna be really hard to find, to have somebody come in for that kind of money or subsidize from other cities around them. So I'm just kind of unclear on what their interest is in our contract. I feel like we're kind of bending over backwards to make sure.
That's exactly what we're doing.
You know,
We're trying to
there's-
satisfy their want.
And if their votes, vary iffy as far as, you know, depending on when they vote, are they gonna go for this? It's kind of up in the air. I don't know.
It should go to their court. You should bring this contract to them and see what they say before you come back.
That's what I'm curious about. What are
Well, if you
they?
guys are interested, what's the point of going to them first?
No. It's whether they're interested or not.
Oh, they're interested. They brought this up,
Well,
months ago.
Their meeting's tonight.
Yep, I'm going to the meeting tonight too.
Okay.
My plan was hopefully to have you guys approve it and then they would look at it also and go from there.
I think that's backwards. I think we should have them look at it, are they gonna table it? Are they gonna have their attorney be there or what?
They said I believe the mayor said if the attorney can't review it, they'll just table it.
So I don't think we should approve something that we don't know that they're gonna do. Cause like Cindy said, it looks like we're trying to bend over backwards to satisfy their budgetary ask of 218, which we're actually 220.
Right.
Well, they'll never,
What's your plan if they say, nope, we're not doing it, we're tired of this? Then what's your plan?
Well, what is the plan then?
Then Kurt's gonna be, City of Caledonia be subsidizing Spring Grove and the county. For one thing, because there'll be the same call volume and deputies possibly aren't gonna be close to Spring Grove.
You know, I think, Brian, you should go to their meeting and convince them to do the two-person contract.
They're not gonna do the two-person contract, plain and simple, they're not. So it's a moot point. I know you think it is, but it's not. It's like if I ask you for another $1 million, it's not gonna happen.
Well, their budget in 2020 for their law enforcement, when they were doing their own, was 360,000.
Sure.
And you're proposing a 397, and that's 5 years after going through inflation.
Correct.
We're not that far off base here, and we've been providing a good service to them.
Absolutely they are. We have been. We still are. I still want to provide them good service. I mean, they're still county residents.
It's just kind of an interesting approach, you know, for the city to say, we've got this much money, and so whatever you can do for that.
Let me put it this way, if the city of
Kinda
Caledonia, city of La Crescent, close both their departments, police departments, I'm gonna come to you and ask for another 15 people to be added, because I can't handle the call volume.
No,
we
Well-
understand that.
And, you know, to me, I mean, safety is the concern, first of all, in the service. And that would be great if we can negotiate what it is that they need at what cost. You know, rather than, this is how much money we have, what can we get for that? That's just, it doesn't set well with my head, I guess. to
Well, they're looking
just-
for
But I understand what they're
city
doing.
law enforcement, they want somebody in the city itself for that money. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want a deputy floating around and then coming. They want someone there to represent the city. That's what the 220 is.
So if they went out and hired their own cop to do it all, 350,000 probably wouldn't do it.
Well, first of all,
They'd have
they
to
had a
go-
tough time to find somebody back 3-4 years ago. That's why they wanted to do the contract. And I can't answer what,
We did the numbers yesterday with my mayor and, based off the subsidies, how it would roll, it'd be about 375 based off of their call volume. It still equates to 2, but
Who did the numbers?
myself and the mayor and
Okay.
Mike Tornstrom, we looked at it similar to like how you subsidize an ambulance.
Part of the problem is they
You
got
put
rid
those
of
numbers
their-
together, it comes out to about
starting over,
375.
so expensive.
So we were really not in a position, we weren't astronomically wrong by any means, if you look at
In our
subsidies.
proposed budget.
Correct.
So my other thought too is, we don't,
Sorry.
talking, is that we don't want to be left without any financial support on this contract and covering the calls, you know, because that, obviously, they're still going to be there, like you guys
Well,
said,
this
so.
is where this is heading.
Well,
Well, it's kind of like plowing snow. There's X number of roads in the cities and the county, and all of a sudden you remove 2 snow plows.
gotta
The snow has still got
disperse,
to get
yep.
plowed. I mean, to dummy it down here a little bit. I mean, that's the hangup I got is, what are they doing? I mean,
Yeah,
they have a expectation to what they're used to. You talk about Brownsville taking care of their own. Hoka takes care of their own to some degree.
Right.
I mean, you look at the call volume in Hoka was always very similar to Spring Groves when I worked there. And
it's not now.
some of it, they took care of themselves, you know, and that's the level of service that they've been used to, I'm thinking they're gonna continue to want that. The dispatch phone's gonna continue to ring. Somebody's gonna have to respond to it, and I agree with Eric. I have a hard time swallowing that we have to pay it. But I know somebody's gonna end up dispatched there, which is probably gonna be their surrounding officers and deputies. So it's a burden getting passed on to us that tough to swallow as a taxpayer that we're representing here.
Sue, is it, we won't get in trouble by using levy dollars to subsidize Spring Grove or subsidize somebody? Is that,
I don't know the answer to that.
okay, I was just asking.
Interesting question.
Only ones we're gonna get in trouble with is the taxpayers in the county.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Not
I
everybody
don't think there's a
else.
statute that says that.
I don't
that's-
know, I just asked the question.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I don't
It puts a
believe
big burden on our sheriff here because he's trying to reallocate his staff to
Yeah.
cover a lot of positions.
Right. I'm in trying to make the budget what I can, what people are giving me. So I'm trying to fit the best possible way. I mean, I'd rather have a body than a new squad car and equipment. And then
A new
deal with
squad
the
car
numbers.
isn't gonna take the call.
Unless you get
We get one of them electric.
automated electric cars.
So, we're never gonna need to replace the squad car in the future?
No,
Yeah,
it-
it
So it's gonna be, have to dealt with down the road, right?
Right.
We're gonna have to raise the levy to pay for all that.
no. I said we'd at least got one more year, and then we'll, got next year, look at it and decide, discuss what options we have, and if it does, we can figure out a budget to keep a second deputy, or one extra deputy, then we'd have to let them go. At least we have one more year of it.
And just the whole process for the lease.
So it's actually, isn't Amy the
That
newest?
Should be done anyway.
Calvin's the newest. Oh, you're right, I'm
No.
sorry, Amy, you're right.
Amy is the newest.
Amy's
You're
the
right.
newest, yeah.
I was thinking step, that's why she's higher step.
Unfortunately, if you look at some of the facts out there, I know that your sheriff's association has it and the police chief association has it. I don't know the numbers, but isn't it true that there's been several hundred police departments in the last 2-3 years that have gone away?
Correct.
So this is not unique to Houston County. What have these other counties done when these departments have they just absorbed it, or can they charge for service without a contract?
I've checked and charted, my knowledge, you can't charge for service at all. And I can't tell you, I know Goodhue had their city, one of their cities, close up, had a good sized police department, I thought. I don't know what became of that.
Puts the county sheriff over the barrel.
Yeah.
100%.
So back when we did this first year of this contract, we hired Deputy Luke Inglet and Kendra Heim.
Okay. I don't.
Kendra never actually worked.
Yeah, I think she got
never
background
came.
and then backed out. if I
Yeah,
remember
she
right.
backed out. So then it was Storm Davis that was hired, wasn't
Yes,
it?
I believe so.
Well, I think it should go to Spring Grove and see what they say.
Well, maybe, I mean, I'm going to Spring Grove, I guess. Is there any issues with you guys, the contract, I guess?
Well,
If they go to
look,
Spring Grove and they say yes, but you guys come back and say no, what's the point of going over there?
Guess they would know we're not happy with the numbers.
Right. But if we can't come to a resolution, and we're 3 weeks away from the start of a new budget, where are we at? Am I gonna come back next week and if we got nowhere, I'm gonna ask to increase my budget that, I don't know if it's possible to keep these two deputies, to keep the call volume the same?
Well, do we wanna have one full-time cop in Spring Grove, or how we wanna do it?
One is better than none.
In this revised one, did they bring that to you, or did you have to pull it from them?
I made it.
He's proposing it.
They have seen it.
Yes, they have seen it. Like I said, it's very minimal changes to it, so.
Has the whole council seen it, though? That's what my
Yes,
concern
they
is.
they all
Okay,
was sent to them last Friday.
okay.
I talked to Jana yesterday and she had some questions about it.
She emailed me, was yesterday, emailed her back too. She asked about fuel. I kind of explained that to her. I also explained that they're looking at for a little more budgetary too much, because they have to realize that we're taking on other things also that are in the background. That their contracts give them a lot of leeway, liability for one thing. If a deputy gets hurt on the job, we're still giving them the hours, even though we're subtracting one deputy. So there's benefits for them.
That are already being covered.
Correct.
In the contract. I mean, I like the whole proposal that you're looking at with the vehicle purchase and, you know, that whole plan for that. That makes sense anyway. It's probably a good way to be more cost-effective and save money. In my opinion, I mean, I think we're kind of caught in this because, you know, the calls are going to be there. You need staff to cover them. Back to our other conversation about losing people and not having everybody, you know, a lot of people lined up walking through the door to take a job as a deputy here or another position in the sheriff's department is difficult. So, you know, if we let people go and then we have to hire a year or two from now, that's an expense, you know, that we have to plan.
Correct.
But you gotta take in consideration what we pay and what our benefits are. After our last negotiation, we got a pretty well enhanced.
It should be, but I'm just saying if
You also
they're,
have to take into consideration that we ain't got anybody coming out of law enforcement
I
school.
understand that, but
Everybody's
the ones that are available, I think are what our contract, our pay and benefits, what we offer, given the last contract we agreed to, is pretty good.
I think it's very good.
That's right.
But why would you come to southeast Minnesota when you can go and work in Rochester for more?
Cost of living.
better.
Because it's a better work environment, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna disagree with anything when it comes to work environment by any means.
And like
It's
you
just
guys,
home.
It's just a difficult situation, you know? I mean, this is,
All the way around, it's hard.
yeah. And the other concern that I have is, you know, if they say tonight, yes, if they can get out of the contract in 30 days, you know, because they decide something else in their budget in the next 6 months in Spring Grove, then
That's coming.
doing that. It's just,
That'll be what,
but this new budget, you can't get out of it for budgetary reason until the end of the contract.
I thought they couldn't get out of it for budgetary reasons.
That's what,
They
yeah,
cannot
that's what-
get out of it
cannot
for
get out of
budgetary
it.
reason. It has to be for
okay,
bylaws.
that's right,
So
that's
if
right.
they agree to the contract, it's 3 years, this is it,
Unless something
for 3 years going forward.
happens.
What if they have a budgetary reason to get out?
In the contract, it cannot be budgetary reason.
That's why the city attorney probably needs to be involved in it too and look at that, because their language.
So I thought we couldn't have a clause in there saying that they can get out for budgetary reasons.
It's in here, it cannot get out
Cannot.
for budgetary reasons.
Is that binding, Attorney Booth?
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that right, Sue?
That's when we put in the contract. They can't terminate the contract for budgetary reasons. Only for mutual agreement or for cause. And for cause includes not budgetary reasons.
Right.
Is that explained, is that defined in here?
It's in there.
Termination of contract shall not discharge any liability, responsibility, or right of any party arises from the performance or fail of adequately to perform terms of the contract. If a party terminates the cause, the terminating party authorized representative shall read written notice for 30 days.
Yeah, I ain't arguing that. I'm just the one.
That's
Termination for cause does not include budgetary related issues.
Right, which means they can't
Cannot terminate.
terminate it just because they decide
They
their
wanna cut their
budget's not
budget.
gonna cover it.
It's page 3 of 10, C in subdivision C.
See, I wonder if Spring Grove knows that because they told me that they'll never sign that.
Oh, who said that, I guess? Mayor, council member?
the administrator and a council member.
Okay, she didn't bring that up to me at all. The email or phone call I had with her.
Termination of cause does not include budgetary related issues.
Correct. I'm the one who suggested that, because I just think we wanted security.
That's where they probably need to
Well, that's a
look
good
it
idea.
over.
All of a sudden, they'll buy that Spring Grove place for a daycare and they'll have to put 500
If
on
they
that.
really want law enforcement, that shouldn't be an issue for them.
Well, hopefully that 218 was some number that they actually planned and thought about.
Well, I don't know how they came up with the number, but they did budget it for.
Yeah.
Yeah, where did that number come from?
I don't know. I did ask them back in September or August for their preliminary budget, but I never received that. And I didn't go looking for it.
So how much is a full-time deputy over there if we have to, how much a year do we pay him?
Total,
Yeah, for the year.
well, I can't tell you off the top of my head without.
You got budgeted 146,000.
So yeah, for this coming year, it'd be 146 with benefits.
That's the benefit package and everything.
That's everything total?
Yes.
46, okay. And then you got that assistant, how much is she?
41.
That's 41,000 and we're paying 20 of that or half?
Oh, I believe that's already half.
That's their half.
Their half.
Their half is 41?
Yes.
Our half is 41?
Yes.
It's pretty
So you got
narrow.
$187,000.
Plus you had fuels, liabilities and all that comes out to 220,000.
That's include fuel in there?
See, fuel in the old contract was 8,000 and the fuel in this one is 6,000.
Right. That was for two deputies. I looked at, there'll be Deputy Gerke's, gas bill for, I can't remember, it was last year or this year, excuse me.
What's-
It was right around 6,000.
It's
So that's what number I
half
used.
the hours though, right?
Well, they're still getting a full-time person no matter what.
Yeah.
So I calculate a full-time
Okay.
squad cars, gas.
Okay.
And I just used, I didn't take all the deputies together and divide them type thing. I figured that was too much. I just used one deputy that's been over there.
So we got 33,000 to pay for gas, his insurance.
Correct. And I'm hoping, like Commissioner Schultz said, that they're used to a service. I'm hoping with even going down to one, they'll realize that they prefer to have a better service, even with one. So I'm hoping they see that and light and switch back to two the following years, so.
Well, more than that, it have to be renegotiated.
Right. But then if they come back, hopefully next year, following year, they come back and say, hey, we can budget two now. And we can take the deputy that we had on our side, move it back over to Spring Grove.
Why would they do that?
Just like you guys kind of said, they're used to a service. If we drop down their service, not totally, but half the service, they still might come and say, we prefer the service we've been getting. And I can tell you, schools really enjoy our deputies over there.
Well, that's why I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. They have a school in town and they're gonna reduce their law enforcement budget?
The mentality in some people is, well, the county's coming through anyways.
Yeah.
And they told me they need to prioritize their roads. So they've been pushing off for many years, so.
Well, I got a copy of their proposed preliminary budget and what their final supposed budget's gonna be, and only thing they cut was law enforcement. They didn't cut nothing else.
And then they took that money and added it into their road project?
They didn't cut that either. That's still at 552,000.
Did they add the essential, what they cut out of the law enforcement?
Well, they added the fire budget because it got that grant, so I suppose they plan on spending that money, but that's a damn many paperwork.
So their proposed actually included the road projects and the law enforcement. So now for their final, they're just taking the
They're just dropping
law enforcement off. So the-
To bring their levy down.
Yeah.
to reduce their levy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you guys think? What do you wanna do here with this deputy in Spring Grove?
I already said what I thought we should do, but that's just me.
I mean, what if we don't move forward with this, we got 3 weeks until the beginning of the year, and my sheriff's budget does not include these 2 deputies, so realistically, you should be laying them off right now. You're not gonna get some type of contract or adjust the budget. So,
I feel like we should approve this and send it over there and have them do their thing. That's my opinion.
That's the only thing I'm unsure about are they gonna go for this or are they gonna,
Well, if we
change
don't
it?
approve
So
it-
we don't know.
If we do approve it and they say no, it's still null and void here.
Well, and we still have costs, so
Agree with
is
that.
my concern too. And we have coverage, level of service isn't gonna be changed, but
They
it's
still
not
have,
gonna
and
be provided.
there's two
Yep.
parties here. They still have to approve this.
It's almost like we're still in negotiations with them.
Yeah.
It was brought
That's right.
forward by, you had to go to them, right?
Yeah, that's so,
and I did tell the mayor this morning that, I wasn't gonna change the numbers on it. So I said, don't think about negotiating or trying to change the numbers.
So-
And they came up with 218, I came up with 220, so $2,000, they should be able to absorb that anywhere.
And they understand that they can't terminate the contract for budgetary reasons.
It's in the contract, I didn't speak to
Did you
anyone
point
directly.
that out to them?
No, it's in the contract, I mean, it's their to read, their attorney to read, I shouldn't need to go through it line by line with them.
In essence, we need to look at, like you said, look at this, in essence, what you said together there, but we gotta look at the whole picture too, because you're talking 2 deputies. This
Yep.
is just one.
Yep.
So if we approve this, we also should be approving reallocating your department, and then we have to look at the 4 months. And what that's gonna do to our levy numbers.
I like that. I mean,
It's all intertwined and
It's all- yeah, it's
we gotta
all-
see all those numbers and see it
all there. I mean-
and get it down to concrete.
And then make sure that you can, that you guys can handle that workload. I mean, you're taking on a pretty big bite, and again, that's to help them out. That's my hang up. I look at the 2 other small departments in their county. What happens to them? You're really gonna be in a pickle. If all of a sudden Houston's chief takes a job in Rochester and Hoka's chief takes a job in St. Paul, just
Right.
throwing stuff out here.
Yeah.
You still don't have anybody to replace officers anywhere.
Yeah, but we've already said how to work this, is that they'll just give you a number, you make it work.
Right.
Or
That's what I mean.
Holker,
We're really over a
Houston
barrel
just
here
close up their
by
police
setting
department.
precedents.
Our taxpayers are over a barrel here.
And I know the call volume's there because I worked it.
Yeah.
that's why I asked how it affects our budget, our levy, because it's, overall, the county is who we should, we need to be considering too.
So hypothetically, if Houston or Holker decide to close their police department, or the chief leaves and they can't find anybody, they still have a fallback saying, we have a contract with Spring Grove, we should do the same thing with you.
Yep.
If we don't have a contract with Spring Grove, they're gonna go, you deal with it also.
But is there anything that forces them to do a contract?
What's that?
Is there anything that forces them to do a contract? I don't think.
No, there is nothing to make them do a contract.
they
But the
get,
burden would still be on the county to provide them with law enforcement services.
Absolutely.
To a certain statutory level to be defined by whoever.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why I support at least, making an offer to do this for amount of money, and maybe it's a minimum. At a minimum, this is what we would offer. But it's not like they can say, how about 150,000 instead of 218? I mean, that's really concerning me.
But in order to do that, we also need to look at
Everything
next
else.
2 steps
Yep.
together.
Yes. Yeah, I think
What
there's
you're
more
proposing.
behind the scenes that we probably need to do, and we need to do it right away.
well, the biggest thing is the next deputy. We got a deputy that we wanna find a home for him someplace, and how we're gonna do it, I don't know
2
yet.
deputies.
Deputies, actually, 'cause if we do the Spring Grove, we got 1 to worry about,
correct.
so.
And they're-
So our job is to retain, we're gonna lose half our revenue, but we're still gonna retain the personnel.
because we're still plowing the same number of roads?
Well, our personnel's going down because Carrie's leaving.
Yeah, we're actually going
Yeah,
back.
but that's a separate issue. That's a retirement for a different position, right? I mean,
Yeah, but I'm reallocating her.
But it's getting rolled into this equation. is the-
Still
Money is being
restructuring
rolled
that.
into the
Yep.
equation.
so if that's the case, you were never gonna replace her. That would have been a savings to your budget. But now you're gonna use that savings to keep somebody else.
Correct, but if I would have lost a deputy or two and then just had an administrative assistant, I'd be less deputies, same amount of work, and
So you'd still be doing ordinance enforcement in Spring Grove if we didn't have a contract with them?
we did not.
Yep.
I'm gonna say off the top of my head, no, we'd not be doing any student ordinances by,
So you would have a little less work then?
yeah, and I can't tell you how many student ordinances, more than the numbers I gave you. I can
There's
tell
like
you
6 or 7 in here that you state in the contract.
What's the percentage of the call load that is
Student ordinances?
Yeah.
I don't know that number, that's what I mean. I don't believe it's many.
based off of the fact that I know what ours does in the city of Caledonia, it would be a low number compared to the regular calls for service.
Yeah, and by City of Caledonia and Spring Grove, for one example, wintertime, there's minimal, for the past couple of years, we've had issues with city ordinance on parking and snow removal and stuff like that. So I know you have a lot, or seems like a lot.
UTV,
What's that?
UTV ordinances?
Yes, but I don't know if they've had any off the top of my head.
Could, you know anybody you could call, Sue, to give us an answer on that, or? Using levy dollars to subsidize another city. Just to see if, so we ain't doing something wrong that we shouldn't be doing.
I don't
I
know.
mean, we're spending the taxpayers' dollars here, so let's do it right.
So you have curfew ordinance, public parks, recreation ordinance, traffic parking regulations, and recreational vehicles.
It's a curfew standard across the board for everywhere.
If you want to pause and take a read, Jern, I can have my secretaries run numbers and tell you how many city ordinance we've enforced in the past 3 years. That's gonna help you. And we can subtract that from the total number of calls. I don't believe it's a dozen or more, but it's my belief.
The call numbers really don't matter. It's, do we want to have a cop in Spring Grove? I mean, call numbers aren't changing.
The whole simple idea is simply this, whether we sign a contract or don't sign a contract, we're responsible for their law enforcement. So why not get a contract where at least we have money coming in?
Well, I don't have a problem with having one cop over there if they accept our contract.
Agree.
Do we, in the bigger picture, do we have a plan for like all the calls, all the commitment or level of service that we provide across the county? And what that means in like hours or support from staff? I know it's probably tough to break down, but I'd be really curious. Because if we're planning for the future, it's concerning because any of these things can change. Like you're talking about, a chief can leave from another area, and then if Houston County has to plan for that, I'm just curious if, we wait until like now, when we don't have this in our budget, or if we can say, okay, so we provide this level of service with this many deputies, this many staff. If that changes, then it's really aside from this,
We look
yeah.
at call service every year.
Mhm.
Traditionally, they've been staying the same or growing a little bit,
Okay.
nothing dramatic enough. You do have a ratio of calls per officer. It's pretty much universal. I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is.
Because I'm just looking at that, if that ratio changes, if we have 2 extra deputies that we have to add to that because of no Spring Grove contract, how would that level of service or that number of work hours change? Would it change their overtime? Would it change, just the budget in that way?
So are you talking about,
If you,
where are these two deputies at, I guess, my question? Where are you looking?
well, they would not be dedicated to the 70 hours in Spring
So
Grove.
the two deputies be on the sheriff's office
Yeah.
budget. Realistically, we're still gonna save the same number of calls. Realistically, for budgetary wise, it helps my overtime budget out.
Okay.
Vacation and everything else, because I got, more deputies now. They're not assigned to Spring Grove. More deputies when they take vacation, sick time and everything else, and the Minnesota family leave and all that,
Okay,
we don't gotta move people around.
Right.
Or pay overtime for it, because we got two more people now. So it, definitely would help the budget, I can't tell you how much.
But there'd be an increase of $400,000 in your budget for that. Without a contract.
Well, it'd be the two deputies.
Yeah.
And not, oh yeah, whatever numbers.
Because the contract was $400,000, the last,
391.
that was the first year, but the second and third year was higher.
397 or, yeah.
Actually, the 25 contract was 40 something. And your first year contract for 26 was a little less.
Can I make a suggestion on possibly a path moving forward?
Please do.
Go ahead.
Proposed was 397, 345,
Yeah.
Last year?
26.
Yeah, but 2025, what was the budget for that?
$361, $486. Proposed for 26 is $397, $345, a difference of $35, $859.
Okay,
That's what it went up.
35,000. Something like that.
Okay.
So these are Carol's numbers there.
All right.
The difference of 35.
So right now on the agenda, it's, consider approval of the Spring Grove contract, which has to be in the affirmative, not the negative. So I guess the options are, you can either approve it or table it. I do think that there is some kind of viewpoint of possibly seeing what Spring Grove has and kind of their conversations this evening. So I think kind of a path forward could possibly be as if sheriff goes to Spring Grove tonight, say, this is a contract that we are considering. Are you in agreements to it? Do you like it? Yes or no? If it's a no, then that takes us down one path. If it's a yes, then we can come back, Carol can get everything to the T as far as the budgetary amount of what it would look like specifically for Sheriff Swedberg's budget if the Spring Grove contract was in play, what the Carrie leaving plus the things about the vehicle and all that stuff in a spreadsheet. So you see exactly what that looks like and what that budget difference would be for 2026 opposed to what is currently budgeted now. Because I think his thought process is trying to absorb those positions, and I know that Bob had some concern of what does that fully completely look like, and it looks like there may be some confusion out there as far as the numbers going around. So if he goes to Spring Grove tonight and they say, yes, this is something we're interested in pursuing, then the next meeting we could have stuff, bring it back, because we know Spring Grove is willing to participate and on board. And then that gives us a week to have more detail for you to make those decisions on what financial cost that would be to the county, if any, out of this budget. You still hadn't approved the contract because we're not approving the contract yet, so that would have to be at that as well. But you would have more of an overall picture of what that looks like. So you'd have financial stuff spelled out, Spring Grove honor board or not on board, and then that could give you a little bit more ability to make those decisions at that time. Does that sound like kind of a
Well, so
That's well put.
it's well put, but, so basically we'd be stuck with whatever, dealing with our budget and how we're gonna manipulate that on our end if Spring Grove says, sure, let's go for this. And if they don't, then it's not a point. But I'd love to know that whole budget piece before we make a decision to push the contract forward, but I know it's tonight, so.
Sure. Yeah, but right now you wouldn't necessarily approve that contract. Today you table it.
Oh, I thought you meant if we offered that to them, because they said, so we're just negotiating.
Sheriff would be offering the
Yeah,
contract.
the sheriff would go, and if they're interested, if you tabled it now and they're interested, then you come back with more of that financial
Okay,
piece kind of spelled out a little bit more. And then we'll know at that time if Spring Grove is interested or not interested. And then, so if they are, then that's more of a, Spring Grove would be on board, what the financial outlook looks like. That could make better decision-making ability for you. Or, at the end of the day, if Spring Grove tonight says, we're not interested, we're still coming back next, and this contract.
Then we're gonna have to have a bigger conversation.
Then that's a different, that's a different path. I think you're at the fork in the road. That's a different path, so. Are you okay with that plan?
Well, yes and no. So, is the council or commissioners okay if we can make a one-man budget in Spring Grove work, or 70 hours every 2 weeks work, and my budget be able to absorb the other deputy? Are you guys good with that? It seems like.
We don't have the numbers to show.
No, if it balances out, I'm saying. 'Cause
We
it seems like
we
some of
can't
the
make a
commissioners want
decision
two or
on,
nothing.
we can't make a decision on ifs, Brian.
Well, it seems like at least you want all or nothing, so if we got 3 people want all or nothing, what's the point of even talking to them? Because they don't want all or nothing.
I'm just one commissioner, so.
I know. But I'd hate to waste my time going over there if I come back and say, yep, they're good with this, and
Brian,
you was vote no.
I am a supporter of the program that you got set up right now, whether anybody else likes it or not. I think that it's important that you would go there tonight, and if they're like, this is what we want to do, it's easy to come back here and say, they want to throw the 220, this is the contract that they will do, makes a decision easier. That being said, based off of what you said before, I think there's a way to absorb things and continue on, because like Bob said, same road still got to get plowed no matter what.
Right.
So I think what Brent is saying is a good thing. I think that getting them to commit and bringing it to us is very important.
Yeah, it's no problem.
That will give us time to absorb how we're gonna.
And look at the rest of the numbers,
Sure.
because I am not a proponent of laying people off. I just am
No,
not.
I mean, it's,
Especially when I work this field and I understand what call loads are.
right. I wish we would have been going down this road 3 months ago.
Correct.
well, I don't know how it's gonna decrease either. That just doesn't make sense. The
Nothing
call, I'm
decreases.
talking about, yeah,
Call
exactly.
volumes aren't.
No,
The call volumes aren't
no,
gonna decrease.
exactly. It's still gonna be
Bad
there.
things keep getting closer and closer to home here, if you're paying
And
attention.
not to be mean,
Like
as soon as your marijuana dispensaries start opening up, I mean, you look around, it's gonna bring more
Issues.
workload for us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's not what was sold to us when they approved this.
Drive to Colorado once, and
Oh, yeah.
Well, we were told this was gonna be a great thing, and we're gonna make it legal, so there's less enforcement of all that.
Well, you were lied
other
to.
problems too.
Yeah, less enforcement
You're
of that,
absolutely
but
right, we won't
there's
be
more
enforcing
enforcement of
marijuana
other.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's-
Yeah, and
I would
as
like
long
to.
as, it's not like on the dotted line, this is what the contract is. It's hard when you're trying to negotiate to say, this is it, and have a black and white view of it. So I think it would be great to get their idea of, or their opinion on whether or not it's gonna fly. I can't imagine that they wouldn't want something, because they do have a budget for it.
Right.
Yeah,
I would
do they
assume so.
actually have it on their agenda to vote on a contract tonight?
I don't know the exact wording on it.
They're having their TNT notice tonight, meeting tonight, so.
Oh, then there's no
Yeah, the mayor
actual.
told me he's gonna suggest tabling it, and then have a special meeting.
I would, I'll make a motion to table this, to get the, both ends of the financials and get Spring Grove's blessing on it. And then we'll hash out the numbers.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can I ask you, what if this goes into next year?
What?
What if this discussion keeps going into next year?
I, for one, do want it.
Well, then I would suggest if you see that happening, maybe you should suggest to them that maybe we could extend the two-person contract for another quarter? Do they pay quarterly or what?
They pay monthly.
They pay monthly.
Oh,
Extend it for another month?
yeah.
It's an option. I'm just worried that if we extend another month and they're gonna say we got deduct that from the 220,
That what?
from the 220, that one extra month. The 220 now, it kind of.
Well, you'd have to make an adjustment. You'd have to make an adjustment for the first year, but you can get an extension on the two-person contract.
I think if tonight's a big hindrance for you, Brian, and I just feel like if they're willing to say, yes, we will commit to this to a contract that you're proposed to them right now, it makes things a lot easier on this side.
Okay, there's no problem. I'm just letting you know, it'd probably be tabled tonight for them also. And I'm not sure exactly when they're gonna,
Just encourage them that we want to get this done as soon as possible.
because I don't know what. they-
If it's their TNT meeting, they don't make decisions.
Well, it's their regular meeting. They're just having a TNT during it.
Oh, okay.
Because they have it at old business to talk about Houston County law enforcement contract is on their old business for their agenda.
And they got a copy of the new stuff.
So how many days is it, they have to get public notice, how many days in advance too? Special meetings, so.
Now they're gonna,
You wait till I'm off.
are they tabling it tonight because of their city attorney?
That's what, the mayor told me if the city attorney hasn't got back to him.
Okay.
Definitely.
City attorney wasn't gonna be there tonight.
Who's their attorney? Do you, Greg Schieber, ain't it? Schieber?
I've never seen him there.
Greg
the
Schieber.
Times I've been there, so.
Greg?
Schieber?
Well, maybe it wouldn't hurt after this to make a little phone call and just say, hey, where you guys at with, has your attorney had a chance or an opportunity to look at this? So I'll be there tonight. We can talk about this.
Yeah, there's
Set
no
it up.
problem. And like I told, the mayor over there, I'm an administrative assistant, have one contract that has the old language striked out and the new language highlighted so they can look at one piece of paper and see the differences. Just like the union contracts do. It's a lot easier than holding two pieces of paper and looking at them.
Oh, so we tabled it and you're gonna go tonight and
Okay, we haven't voted yet,
Have to
so.
vote on it.
Any more discussion?
that's what I was wondering.
We not a half an hour of discussion?
I don't
Not
know.
right now.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay, thank you.
That was painful.
Good luck, Sheriff. Oh, now I lost the agenda.
That left.
With payments. We're down to payments.
Payroll
Payments.
statements.
Do we have, any questions on the payments?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second them. I reviewed them.
Any further discussion?
Not on that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, move on to discussion items. Number one, discuss Sheriff Swedberg's 2026 salary. Shouldn't have left, Brian.
I know. All right. I didn't email this to you at all. I believe most of you have my, basically my resume from the past year, what I've done, my past history, law enforcement, my duties have been explained in this past year. So unless you want me to go through that part of it, otherwise I would like just to go through what this 2025 accomplishments were, what I've done, and also my future 2026, what I'm looking at also. So I guess, do you guys want me to go through my history, my experience, anything like that?
So you've emailed this to us?
I did not.
Oh.
It's the same, same experience I emailed you last year and also you received this year too, except for 1 year difference. It's been added on. So do you guys want me to go through that or not?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just gonna read the whole thing. Below is a list of my responsibilities, duties, experience, qualifications, and performance This is not a complete list, but it is a majority. The Sheriff's Office consists of 6 divisions: administration, emergency management, investigations, jail, which is adult and juvenile, patrol, and support services. The Sheriff's Office staff consist of 14 deputies, 15 full-time dispatchers and detention staff, three full-time administrative assistants, 1 full-time jail administrator, 1 full-time emergency manager / PSAP coordinator, and 3 part-time transport officers. I also have the Sheriff's Posse, which consists roughly 27 posse members. Sheriff's duties and responsibilities. The sheriffs must have the police officer's license issued by the Board of Police Officers Standards and Training. All licensed police officers must have a minimum of 48 hours continuing education every 3 years. Included in today are mandated crisis response and different use of force type training and scenarios. Each 3 cycles I've always had and accomplished more than the minimum standards. Like I said, it was at 48 over the 3 years. I've had a good 100 and some years of training every year. I believe that we should show the other officers how to do things. And if I'm doing the bare minimum, they're going to think they're doing the bare minimum. So, and I expect more out of that staff for that. And the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer for the county. So duties, the duties and powers of the office of sheriff authorized by Minnesota state statutes are found in chapter 387 of Minnesota statutes. And hundreds of times throughout the statutes and administrative rules apply to the sheriff. The sheriff is an officer of the court also, with the duties to deliver and carry out orders of the court, transport prisoners, serve writs, processes, and judicial documents. The sheriff provides criminal justice center and court security. Additional duties are to develop, plan, implement office goals and objectives, make administrative policies and procedures, coordinate daily activities with the chief deputy, review and evaluate methods and procedures, develop a yearly budget, monitor and approve expenditures, and present reports to county officials, county board, and Spring Grove Council. The sheriff also pursues and apprehends felons, executes all processes, writs, and orders issued and made by lawful authority and to the sheriff delivered, attending upon terms of the district court, and perform all the duties pertaining to the office, including investigating recreational vehicle accidents involving personal injury or death occurring outside the boundaries of municipalities, searching and dragging or drowning bodies, and searching and looking for lost people. Also my duties for the posse, I oversee what they do. I review their applications prior to them receiving it. I review them, do background, and make sure they're appropriate. I help coordinate some of their training, help coordinate events, the search and rescue, drowning, walking different patterns we practiced with the posse for searches, UTV, ATV, snowmobile, and boat training also, traffic control, and community outreach. But posse has been very big on the drone for the past several years now, and they've had several great people that are dedicated to this drone, and they've given talks throughout the community about the drone. Even actually, this year they went to the countywide fire department meeting and presented to them, offering their assistance if any type of fires for their drone, for their infrared and stuff like that. So the past 3 years, I've been working with the Spring Grove officials for the aspects of the contract, budget scheduling law, enforcement. I quarterly report to the city council with their stats, answer any questions they have, give them any type of updates we have. The responsibilities, the sheriff is responsibilities include protecting life and property and preserving peace through programs designed to enforce laws prevent crimes, and provide an efficient level of responsibility to both emergency and non-emergency requests for law enforcement services, providing a safe correctional facility, promoting coordinated and diverse programs, activities and services with other law enforcement agencies, and develop efficient and motivated workforce through education, training, and career opportunities. So I do want to note on that quick. I believe that from the sentence I read, our training that we've had has been growing very well and for the whole county for law enforcement. We looked at different things, different avenues, made it more than the basic rubber stamp for training. Years ago, we used to do that. I'm talking 20 years ago, it used to be as a basic rubber stamp, go out there and shoot and be done. We've evolved since that. More of a thinking type thing, more scenarios, help them. The sheriff is responsible for reviewing all permits to carry and permits to purchase applications. After lengthy review, I have to decide if the application is be approved or denied. So the permits to purchase, I take care of just the county, outside the city municipalities, and nothing outside the county. For permits to carry, all applications come to my office throughout the whole county and any outside state agency also, or people, excuse me, can bring it to my office. And surprisingly, we have a lot of Wisconsin people that for some reason come to Caledonia to get permit to carries. And a lot of those are very interesting, to say the least. I've had a handful that I've had to give out permit to carries, even though they've had a pardon from the Wisconsin governor on some serious crimes, which is scary, but
they're pardoned.
The pardon is the pardon. So I do take that very seriously, the permits to carry, because it is a huge responsibility for me and for my office to make sure we're giving out the correct permits to carry. The permit to purchase is a statutory thing that we don't have any discretion really. We run the background check. If they pass the background check, they get the permit to carry. Permit to purchase, I do have a lot of discretion. And surprisingly enough, a lot of criminal histories aren't black and white. We have to pull court records from wherever, review them. Even a criminal history doesn't necessarily say if the person's eligible to possess a firearm. It basically makes us figure that out for ourselves or make a decision ourselves. So it's something that's flawed, but we have to deal with, and it's frustrating for my office especially.
Have you had to enforce a red flag law?
Excuse me?
A red flag law?
I believe we had one.
Okay.
The past, whatever, 2 years, or whatever it's been.
It's been one in the county so far.
Yeah, what is it, Caledonia? Actually, yeah. So currently this year, I rolled this up this last week, we had 280 permits to carry applications and 144 permit to purchase applications this year so far. So it is quite a bit, numbers. I don't do the paperwork myself, I just review them to see if they do qualify. So administrative assistants do all the paperwork, so I'm not taking claim to that at all. The goals of the office is to evolve and improve and continue tasks of operation and service the most efficient way possible. I do hold my staff to a very high standard, and previous Sheriff England also did, that the staff have to have a standard that we require, training, professionality, and I do take that very seriously with the staff. We do have a number of issues that we deal with on a monthly basis that we have to address and overcome. I just don't let things slide. From experience and qualification, I started here at the Sheriff's Office in 1991, so 34 years ago. I started as a jailer and dispatcher, was a jailer and dispatcher for 8 years. During those 8 years, I really found out at the beginning of the 8 years to say, I really enjoyed the job. Out of high school, this was not my career at all. But when I got the position as jailer dispatcher, I really found I enjoyed it a lot. So I actually went back to school during those 8 years, got my degree. after I got my degree, I worked in the city of Spring Grove, Rushford, Caledonia. I think that's about it, part-time. Until we had a deputy's position available at the sheriff's office, I applied. I believe that was with previous sheriff. I'm trying to think here. I can't remember who I replaced, but either way. Replaced there, I worked as a deputy for 2 years, then I was promoted to a lieutenant after the 2 years. Was lieutenant for 17 years. And when chief deputy, Latham left, I became the chief deputy. I was chief deputy for 4 years, and then now the sheriff for 3 years now. Throughout my career, I got a degree in emergency management, basic emergency management, and also the director of emergency management certification through the state. And I checked with the emergency management with the state and checked to see how many other sheriffs have this type of a certification to be a director. And realistically, I'm the only one in the whole state that is a sheriff that's emergency manager director. And I got these degrees, I believe, when I was a lieutenant, to help the previous emergency manager out. And also by having these certifications that if the Mark Olson, who is emergency manager, needs assistance, I as a sheriff can help assist him. Or if he does leave, I can fill in that position because I do have the credentials for it. And I was, for a short period of time when our previous EM person left, I was the interim emergency manager. And the previous 2 jail administrators ago, I was also an interim jail administrator. So I have a full array in this office of the duties and responsibilities. I'm also on the Southeast Regional Area Communication Board for the past 6 years. February of 2003, once I became sheriff, the Sheriff Association actually contacted me and asked me to actually teach at their new chief deputy training. So I thought that was really impressive for me as a new sheriff coming in to ask to train the new chief deputies the first year coming in. So I thought that was really supportive of me for them to offer it to me. I also finished, these past 3 years, I also finished, it's called ICLAD. It's an Institute of Credible Leadership Development. I finished that, it's about 200 hours roughly, so it is very lengthy, and you have to read probably 6 to 8 large books. The training is designed to enhance professionalism of those who's working in the criminal justice field while it develops the character and sharpens the skills. So coming up this 2026, oh, excuse me, for this past year, 2025, I want to point out that, and I believe you two, Commissioner Johnson and Meyer have been here, many years we've had the residents of Shore Acres come and want their buoys put in. I mean, can you tell me how many years? It's been many years. They've come, and from what I understand, the county's fought with the DNR on this. It might have cost the county some money to try to get that no-wake zone in there. I come in, find a resolution that we can give, I can give the permits out for an informational buoy. The residents there are content with that. And to my knowledge, that has not been brought up this year at all. So it has resolved the issue, but it took many, many years until I came in to find a resolution for that. So I feel that it was really a big thing I've done for the county to help resolve this issue, because this definitely would have been an ongoing issue. Also, with Commissioner Zenner and Commissioner Schultz's assistance, we were able to work on that UTV, ATV ordinance to help the citizens of the county. My project for next year, I have off the bat is right now I've worked with the Caledonia Community Education We finalized a date in April 6th, I believe it is, that my office will be giving the boater safety class. Currently, boater safety in our area is just online, excuse me. I can tell you from my children, when you take the class online, it's basically checking the box. They're running through it real quick. I feel that boater safety, they should take more seriously. That's why I wanted to offer it to the kids or adults at no fee. State DNR sent me the booklets, the instructions, actually the tests also. The kids would take the test that day and I'd send them off to the state. And I want to make this, even though it is an expense for my office, I feel it's beneficial for the residents. And I do want to keep involving that. This is just the first one I set up. I would like to contact the schools and try to get this involved into a curriculum in the school to possibly help facilitate it. Then I'm also looking at doing the same thing with the snowmobile UTV certification. I'm looking at that. However, the only hiccup with that is that I do have to have a club, like a snowmobile club or ATV club, help sponsor it because there is the children do have to do a driving type course. But I believe that it is very doable for our area. I've known in the past with my children, wanted to take the snowmobile class at least. It's very hard to find the class and actually be able to do it since it's not a very easy location. Like the Snowmobile Club in La Crescent, they offer it. It's hard to find sometimes where to sign up for the class, or it's only once a year. Is that, Bob? I'd offer that several times a year, at least for the ATV portion. Also for this last year, the big thing was the gravel competition, which went fine, but a lot of issues also with it that they didn't follow through. And also, since they're going to have it next year in 2026, and also the rumor that they might also have it in 2027. So we need to refine that and make sure everybody's safe. I do have a meeting with the Mayville Township. They want to talk about this at their next meeting coming up this month.
Our next township meeting?
Yes. About the gravel and bicycles being on the road. So I'm going to go to there and talk to them about that. And also I'm planning on going to the township, the entire township meetings also and discuss the
Township Association.
Yes, thank you. With them, because they usually have the election time. They have it one in March, is it, or so?
Yep.
I was planning on that one to discuss with them.
The spring weed meeting, that's what they used to call it.
And bring the whole thing up to
Call
whole
it that
town.
They don't call it that anymore.
It's really not appropriate anymore.
Yeah, you could interpret that several
Means
ways.
something different.
Because I think that all the townships do need to be on the same page with this, or at least have a conversation with each other. Because it is a big thing, and my concern is that our township roads were not designed for bicycles, tractors, and cars on it all at one time. We have narrow roads, curvy roads, ditches that someone could extremely get hurt on. And I have extreme reservations about that because I believe that bicycles will be more and more predominant in our county going in the future. I think we need to address this and figure out a resolution before, hindsight, look at it going, we should have dealt with this beforehand. Twice a year, I give also a presentation on elderly fraud. That's put on by Schumacher Kish Funeral Home. I go there and give a presentation to them about scams. Also the Tesmer Farm Days, we go to that, which I think is wonderful for the county kids. They have a great day. I mean, Eric, you know, it's a great thing for the kids to see and be part of. So currently my salary set up this year is at $141,473. I believe I am a good sheriff, a progressive sheriff. I'm looking to the future, looking for any type of liabilities, issues that we might have. I mean, trying to keep our jail open and pushing that. I feel like as a sheriff, I feel like the jail and the Spring Grove has been a big thing. And I can say a previous sheriff's had this kind of issues with stuff that I know of in the past. So, and looking also at the county structure, I do see that they do have an E82 band, and the E82 band currently right now for 2025 is like 156 and some change for 2025. I'm asking for just like the rest of the county employees got a 3.5%, but then also just like the E band, a 3% step increase. I'm going to call it a step. So I'm asking for those two combined. Even with those two combined, that'd still not be the top of the E band for 25 and definitely not for 26. I didn't calculate what 2026 top E band is, but I can tell you it's at least 10 grand less than what I'm asking for. So I'd assume if the county's good with
What
the E
step you
band.
using on the E band? What step?
E82 I'm talking about, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. What step is that at?
That
One?
I'm currently at, or what?
Well, that 156 number, what step?
That's step 9.
Step 9, okay.
Yep. So by me asking for a 3.5 and a 3, and it's still less, quite a bit less than the top of the E82 band, that's what I'm asking for.
And just for record, that's 150, 817 is with that 3.5%, and then
I was just doing the math. What'd you come up with?
150,817.
So I just want to present this to you today. You do need time to reflect on everything. And it's not appropriate for me to come to you and give you all this right now and say, make a decision. Even the paperwork or League of Minnesota Counties advises that you reflect on everything before you make decisions.
So Brent, did the math that you did for that, did you take the 3.5%, get that total, and did you times that by 3?
I took 141,473, which is this current.
Yep.
I added 3.5% of that, which
Yep.
would have been 146,424.
Yep.
And then I accounted for that 3% step increase, which brings it to 150,817.
All right. Okay.
What's the plan on the juveniles? Are we gonna get any more, or? what's-
We got one contract right now, and so we currently have 2 contracts. One did resign, the other one didn't resign, and they're correct to not resign. They didn't benefit from it at all. We checked with Fillmore County. I was told that Fillmore County did want to sign a contract last year, but we didn't know about it. At least I didn't know about it. They didn't get back to us. We did talk to them. They cited against it right now since I just heard about this like a month ago, and they were too far into their budget to even think about it, I believe. I did talk to one sheriff at the convention last week. It's blinking up which county it is. I know him. He was very interested in having the contract because he said they're shipping people all over the place. He has brought people here before, but he was really entertaining the contract because he says they got kids going all over the place. So
Who does Fillmore currently use for that?
they just go wherever's
Okay.
available, like we previously did.
Okay, so they don't have a contract with somebody else?
Not to my knowledge, no.
So they could bring you some juveniles off.
Oh, absolutely. They'll bring us the juveniles. We just want to have a contract.
You're just paying the daily rate.
But the daily rate's higher than the contract anyway.
Correct.
They're off that.
The daily rate is going up. I can't remember what number, but anyways, and that's why I tried making a new contract more enticing for them to help, because my jail minister did get the numbers from the other juvenile facilities, and they're going up something extremely high. I mean, one, I swear it was like $900 a day per juvenile.
Well, I would think it would make sense if they're close by, then they don't have to drive hours away to any of them that are close.
To Alexandria.
And prior to being a commissioner, yes, that was our huge problem. And always, it seems like, it was that when we arrested juveniles, we had to drive them like to Duluth, and it was either snowing or bad weather or something. But we had a really tough time finding placements. And it was very frustrating when we took a juvenile someplace far away or wherever, and then had to drive them back the next day for court. So I enjoyed, I think, that other counties and cities around us really like us having the juvenile facility. Really benefits everybody. But currently, I think I don't have, we're averaging basically 2 or 3 juveniles a day on our facility.
How many others besides juveniles?
Adults, I can't tell you a number off the top of my head. I thought, like, jail administrator, like, said our averages, don't hold me to this at all. I thought you said it was like 8 or so. And the problem with that also.
8 average?
What's that?
8 average for the year?
For the adults?
Yeah.
I'm really pulling that out.
Yeah, I think it's more like 4 something, isn't it?
Okay, like I said, I'm really pulling that out. But yeah, I also gotta look at it as, if we have more adults in our facility, it's gonna cost the county more to house them, because we gotta feed them and everything else. If we have less of them, it's gonna cost the county less, so it's a balance which way you want to look at things. If we have a full facility, our budget's gonna be a lot higher than having less people in there.
In other words, we don't get paid very good for having them.
What's that?
We don't get paid very good for having them, then, do we?
Well, for the juveniles, we get paid, not the adults at all.
No, adults are.
Yeah, in adult price, even for out of county, there's such a big discrepancy between juveniles and adults. It's only $65 a day for adults in the jail. And like I said, I told you before, this year, excuse me, me and my jail administrator and one other jailer went around to look at the juvenile facilities and see if there was a need, because we heard there was a need from the rumor mill. But we actually went to the facilities and talked to them personally all over the state and look at their facility and talk to them. And there wasn't as much of demand that we thought there was, at least coming from the facilities. So that's why I presented to you, whatever, months ago, that we shouldn't look at.
You're not gonna pursue that.
Correct. But I mean, like I said, I went down the avenue of looking for it too. I'm trying to find a way to best help the county out.
Well, back in December 2nd, we had our TNT meeting that night. It'd have been nice if you were there to answer some questions on the jail.
So for that, I'm not going to defend myself, but I didn't know about that at all. I didn't know my predecessors went at all, and I never, person was invited for it. I was told about it, but I didn't know I was supposed to be there, so I apologize. Over the past 3 years, no one's ever commented to me until Brent said to me that afternoon, I believe it was, asked me if I was coming. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know the department heads came to that. Yes.
So the jail costs came up quite a bit is what your concerns from residents.
Sure. And that's,
What do we have left to pay on that, 4 years?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's a decision for the county board. I can only give you numbers and give direction where to go.
100%.
I mean, and speaking of that too, for the past how many years has my staff been nervous about their jobs? And every time the county board brings it up, the staff get nervous. And I had to help try to alleviate that issue of their insecurities, which is valid. Now currently, I have 2 deputies that have insecurities now, and I hate to see them leave just because we're in limbo. Because I really don't know where we'd get good qualified deputies in the next future.
What's their reason for leaving? What's their reason for leaving? Or why are they nervous?
If they had insecurity, they don't know what they're going on with their job right now. If they're gonna be laid off next week or what. And if I were in their shoes, I might be looking at different jobs too. And Homestead's hiring and they pay a lot more, and you can, in any county touching them. So I could live on the north side of La Crescent realistically and work for Oklahoma City County, take a squad car home. Or in Dresbach. That's a long ways. They're even looking, they're opening their doors, trying to get whoever they can too.
Nobody's coming out of school, it's hard to have.
Our landscape is just, it's
No,
just,
and the problem is, you look at the people coming out of the schools, they're not your best cream of the crop at all, because you're getting some, people are in the greatest shoes.
Well, the experience level isn't there either, certainly.
Coming out of the school, you're not gonna have
No,
experience.
you want to, well, very minimal, you're right. But even people leaving or coming between jobs, they're not necessarily, and they're,
I think what we're at, 700. Not county metro, we're at outstate Minnesota, we're at 700 and some deficit.
I heard more than that, but
With the metro, it's thousands.
that's what, yeah, it was.
Sure.
Just outstate, it was 749, I thought.
Well, you think about what's going on in the news and what they get accused of, would you wanna,
Well,
look at that as a future
Really,
career?
As I sit right here, are you really asking, do you want to?
No, if you were a young man looking for a career, future career, I mean, would
Or
that?
woman.
Or woman, I'm sorry.
well,
I should say persons.
Well,
Either one.
Zender, you were pretty young when you came here.
I was 40.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No, I was
There we go.
38.
Jeez.
I mean, law enforcement's changed, like, our liability for police officers has really become a concern for people that they're gonna go to prison for something they
Yeah.
did just by accident. For example, what would happen to doctors if we held them to that standard? And so malpractice lawsuit, they
Well,
criminally charged?
that's why their malpractice liability insurance is quite high.
True.
Yeah, but if they got charged with crimes also
They do
for
get sued.
accidentally killing somebody,
But MCIT, that's their number one claim is lawsuits.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
but if we did something wrong, we get the lawsuit and the criminal charges. I mean, I
Both
think
facets.
if you had that issue with the doctors, you'd have a lot fewer doctors in this world. So,
Okay.
I just want to give that information and. let you-
Thanks, Brian, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey,
Can we get an update on the other subject for Spring Grove, any communication? Can you share that if you find out anything? from
Tonight?
Well, whenever you find out something.
Yeah,
from Spring
I'm going there
Grove,
tonight. They have a
That'd be
6 o'clock
great.
meeting. Yep, I can just email all of you
yeah. Thanks.
what I found out. Thank you.
Good to plan for the holidays.
okay, coordinator updates.
Try to keep this short.
Thank you.
We have the RFP for economic development's ending this Friday. So when those applications, once that deadline comes out, I'm going to be emailing you those to score them, to help score like a scoring sheet so you can kind of rank those. So that just kind of have that on your radar that that'll be going out this weekend. Planning and zoning applications, we have them coming in. We thought we had 3 replacement in the planning commission, but Amelia found that the form that we were going off of was wrong, had some wrong dates on it, so it's only 1. So we have some applications coming in on that as far as those. So that's also ending, just for everybody's information, this Friday as well.
There's one for Board of
Board
Adjustment.
Adjustment.
And one for Board of Adjustment
Okay.
as well, correct.
So do those applications come to this board or the planning commission or?
Yep, so those will come to this board, very similar to how that RFP be. Everybody will have a copy of the applications and you just kind of rank them and kind of score them as who you'd like. And then we just tally those scores and then.
Oh, that's right. A couple of you guys were on the board when I was applying for the planning commission. I remember that. Bob was fine.
She's not bitter.
Wow.
And you still talk to
bring
me?
that up.
And you still talk to me?
Bring that up. Well, I think it had to do
She's
with,
forced to.
so
I
anyway.
think we did that in a
Yeah, that's
open
right.
meeting, yeah. We voted on it, I believe.
Also, just another reminder, auditor, treasurer, recorder, another public meeting in January with the resolution to follow for your decision if you'd like that to be appointed opposed to elected.
So we'll have a decision then.
Yep, you'll have a public hearing prior to that, and then after that, then that will be the resolution at that point.
Do we have a date for that
I
public
believe
hearing?
it's January 7th,
Okay.
I believe.
Can we,
That's a Monday.
can we do
No,
an
that's
election
not.
for this high power rifle and this together?
That's a whole nother game.
You'd have to have a separate meeting for that.
Separate meetings,
I'd like
maybe
to do
separate
it.
vote too then, or what?
Yep.
Why wouldn't we? Let the people decide this. Why
Well, we should have public hearings or public input meetings or whatever.
We could start that in January if you'd like to start getting in.
That's fine.
Input on that as well.
I think what,
Was that, you wanna check to see if it's the 7th? Is it January 7th? Is that first Tuesday?
I think he was about putting it on a ballot to let the.
In March.
Oh, you mean Greg's referring to? Put it on the ballot?
Not a public for our vote. He'd like to maybe see it on a ballot first.
Well, that would have to be at a
Let the public make their decision.
November meet. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Well, so the auditor treasurer thing isn't a ballot, it's just a resolution
Right.
that you
Right.
just vote on.
Yeah,
It's
he-
two separate.
Talking about.
Right, what he's talking about is, could we put it on a ballot for November
Oh, I see what you're saying.
for the public to vote yes or no on switching from shotgun to rifle?
Problem is that they need to know by
Right.
May, DNR, if we're gonna opt out or not.
Right.
Or the next year. Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be the 6th, not the 7th.
The 6th, okay.
Okay.
January 6th, that first Tuesday.
Be nice to
Sorry, I
explore
blew
the
it up.
option on it.
I think that'd be a good idea to look at.
That's a great idea. We should look at that.
Make a note.
yeah, I really appreciate them passing the buck and making us make the decision on that.
So then we can pass the buck and make the residents.
Well,
It
that's who
isn't
we're
really passing
representing.
the buck.
They'd be
It's,
the ones
it's
chewing our butts.
freedom
I
to vote.
wish we had that
Yep.
opt-out clause for everything they
Yeah.
mandate us to
Let
do.
people vote on it. Yep.
I agree with the vote.
Sorry, Brent, go
No,
ahead.
next thing, next meeting, Bob Burns will be here for SEMCAC to do his update for SEMCAC.
He was here this morning.
I told him to be since he was here, just to do the public comment, but.
Oh, well.
And then, also I had a meeting with Carol Tuckender the other day, and she brought up something about per diems, that there might have been at some point a discussion about per diems or changing some of those.
Yep.
Is that something that you're interested in doing or pursuing?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'll have a discussion item on the next 23rd of what that looks like, so on the 30th, we can have a vote on those you can.
30th is the 5th one.
Yeah, it has to be done before the first of the year,
Correct,
right?
yep.
Or for that year?
Yep,
Does
so
it have to be though, Carol?
Yeah, yeah.
so next week, we'll have a discussion, figure out what you'd like to have on that, and
So we're gonna
then,
have 5 meetings in January?
yeah. And then the 30th is the last weekend in
last
January,
Stacking all these.
Okay.
Solid
or
effort.
last weekend in December. And that's all I had, so I just wanted to kind of bring those stuff up.
Hey Brent, before you take off, and this, it could be in my discussion item too, I guess, but we talked about having descriptions of our committees. I'm just thinking about planning ahead for next year. And I when I was at AMC, I talked to a lot of people about, what they have. And if we could get some input maybe from all of us on committees to what we think that committee does, that would be great. But a lot of boards have a description of what that committee does, and I don't know if we've really done that before.
That'd be a good
So,
idea to have
you know,
a
like
description
the
of what
purpose.
each
Yep.
committee, what their purpose is, or what they do, or what they're responsible for.
Yes.
How many
So
members
maybe-
are needed to
so-
go to it?
Hmm?
How many members are needed to go to it?
Yeah,
Right.
just kind of the ins and outs of what that committee's all about, especially because we had restructuring ad hoc committee this year and we had personnel. So what's the difference, in what we do, and and, you know, any of the committees, but I thought it was interesting. I had some good discussions, and a lot of counties they have all these committees and they're required to go, but they don't necessarily know what the role is or, you know, what the function is. And I've actually been asked on those committees, like, what are we supposed to do? Do we have goals? You know, is there something that we're doing? So maybe we can work on that.
And I do think too, like, and I've pulled some other counties' variations of like, Board of Commissioner procedures almost for the commissioners as far as,
How to run a meeting?
well, not necessarily how to, and two, how to kind of run a meeting in there, but also at what point do you change finance committees? Or what are the rotations look like? Kind of agreed upon set path for.
It's kind of hard because each county is different.
It is very much. And so trying to figure out what that looks like for Houston County is gonna be, you know, kind of a challenge to figure out what the board wants to have as far as kind of like a process and procedures on that. But part of that also looks as well as what are all these different boards, who sits on them, what are those terms, what are they for? And it's also good for new commissioners coming in too. I know we also had comments, I think Kurt was one of them, when he had a comment of like orientation for a new commissioner. You know, that I think that could help as well as time goes on, but yeah, we can definitely look.
I had notes.
Pleasure on acronyms.
Yeah, true. And I have a bunch of things, everything, you know, that I've learned in this last year, to write down for, like, this is what one would probably need to know. So, yeah, I think that'd be great if we can put some materials together.
Good. Alrighty, thank you.
One other thing I want to bring up too, to consider down in the future is to record our workshop meetings.
Okay, yep.
I think that'd be a good idea to record them. We don't have to post those because there's no decision making, but I think it'd be nice to record them.
Historical reference.
For documentation, yeah. But, yeah, actually, we have minutes from those?
We get minutes, right?
Yeah.
But we don't have a recording.
Yeah.
We do a lot of this consensus at our workshops, so I mean.
Right, good discussion, though.
Yeah, and I
Let's
think,
have the discussions and look back.
because a lot of times we have our discussions then, and then when we come to the regular meeting to do an action, we don't say much.
Yeah,
You have to look back and try to remember last 2 years ago.
and you know, a lot of that discussion isn't necessarily in the minutes. I'm sure Amy's gonna have everything said at this meeting tonight in our minutes.
You'll be here till then?
And so, you know, things kind of get lost in translation sometimes, and so have that historical reference to go back and look at, I think would be.
Not a transcript, actually our minutes provide a lot more detail than most counties' minutes do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I like it.
So, yeah, so, and we can, let's push a button, make that happen, that's not an issue, so. Anybody else? Going once, going twice? Okay,
You're good.
thanks.
The only thing I had to, land use meeting, this committee meeting this morning, talked about some new law coming into effect for judicial. I'm actually a little uncomfortable even talking about it, but being blocking out on judicial judges, family members for public documents, so.
Not reveal.
Right.
Isn't there a name for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at
It's
Sue.
it's a new law.
Yeah. Yeah, judicial masking.
Sue probably, know-
Yep, masking.
yeah, judicial masking, correct. So that was discussed. Michelle's gonna be coming forward in the future we're gonna have a fee for that, so we'll have to have a public hearing to implement a new fee. And, not much of anything else that took up a lot of the discussion, so. Well, that's all I got. Commissioner Wright, you went to AMC, you should have a long report.
I did. If any, I should have brought a book for everybody, but I will. But I'll highlight some things, and I actually did attend AMC for the first time since I've been on the board this last week. It's well attended. I find it, they have a lot of sessions. I think they go into a lot of detail. It's very interesting because many counties are looking at the same type of things we are. They had the co-ops, like the utility co-ops there, talking about different initiatives that they're doing. They had a lot of good discussion. Honestly, what I found more valuable is just connecting with other commissioners from across the state and finding out how we're different and we're similar in some ways with some of the issues that we have to face. And then, so that was very worthwhile. And then also just ongoing reference information that on anything that's changing with, I found that the legislative areas were very interesting. But, so that was a couple of days for me. Otherwise, we had a transportation discussion and Bob can probably.
I was hoping you would.
Oh, okay, highlight that. Yeah, planning and La Crescent area, and beyond. It's very interesting always because a lot of what we need is input from community members on those type of committees, that people that actually live there rather than those that attend some of these planning meetings for transportation that are from the state or from, different agencies that just do planning. I think it's very valuable to get input on what do local residents want to see in our areas, our trails, our roadways, anything that we want to do. So, of course, county engineer is quite involved in that too.
Pretty extensive list of ideas.
Oh, yeah. So, and to pare down, what is it that we want to prioritize? And I look at it as safety and efficiency as far as driving and convenience, for all the traffic through our areas. But that's, so as far as how we prioritize the work to be done and the improvements to be made, it's interesting to talk about it. So that's about it for me.
Okay. Commissioner Zender.
ECB meeting, currently sitting on about $575,000 in grant money for planning, training, and equipment. That is kind of getting allocated. They're working on how that breakdown is going to be because there was no specific breakdown on how that money comes out, separated equally but not equally between planning, training, and equipment. So ECB, Emergency Communication Board, so it's our communication stuff.
Does that go to agencies then, or to communities, or how do they, is that what they're looking at?
More, yeah, allocated down to the different.
Okay.
The other grant that they're working on, that she's working on right now, if we get that grant, that money could be allocated so that counties would not have to pay into RAC ECP. So we're hoping that money comes, which we got a good shot at that. So that would be good. The big project, the mapping project that we've been working on that everybody's been waiting to start implementing, has started to implement in our area. They're working on it in Winona and Wabasha. It will keep working down. What the mapping is increased ability for dispatchers to see exactly like real time if there's an event happening in E117 in the high school, it can map it right to exactly where that call is coming in. It'll break it down into different categories of calls, whether it be medical, physical, weapons, so on and so forth. We'll talk a lot more about that on February 9th, which is the joint RAC ECB meeting. That starts at 9. That's an all-day event. The armor costs, so armor is our radio and tower stuff, more so what we pay maintenance-wise. We are seeing an increase in that. It's already been in the budget for this year, but by 30, we're relatively low for Houston County. We were in 4,800, I think, last year, in some change-ish. By 2030, when we start looking at how much is gonna have to be replaced, we're gonna be upwards of 6,800. So it'll go up. There are a couple counties that own their own towers. So their fee this year is like 66,000. So I'm glad we don't own our own towers. So, and then
That's why they're trying to build more towers, because the ones that are existing are charging an exorbitant price.
our towers are different our armor towers are different
Different
than
than
a
the-
phone tower.
Okay.
It's a different, how it all works.
Yours gotta be a lot taller, don't it?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that they discussed, and it was, everybody had a little bit of a hard swallow to it, is, as we all know, our dispatch centers are becoming outdated. At some point, they're gonna have to start to look at replacing. And that, into the early 30s, is going to be a significant cost. So our hopes right now that, like they did with, when they put in the 800 megahertz system, that there will be some kind of state funding or grants to help with that equipment, because that equipment now has different, I'll call it crystals in there for encryption and non-encryption and how it all works. They have a end shelf life. And so that is gonna be a hot topic, I think, as we move closer to 27, 28, 29, and how that's gonna get funded. I don't know. And right now, projections are looking at about $41 million.
So is there any talk about creating dispatch hubs
So one of the things
instead
that,
of each county having their own?
so that, there are some places that currently do that, and some places like it. And we have a dispatch, actual Rochester, they have a person that sits on our ECB board, and there are pros and cons to that. The service, some people think the service is great, others not so much. And is it going to be cost effective to centralize dispatch over the course? Is the big state question that we're all gonna have to wait for the powers to be to sit down and say, hey, this might be a good idea. So I know
Given that
Austin
it's gonna be $41 million, you know.
spread out throughout the whole state. So, I mean, that's just a guesstimate at this particular, I mean, that number was kind of staggering. Everybody kind of, Marcia Ward from Winona, I thought she was gonna
She
fall out
latched
of
onto that one?
She almost fell out of her chair.
Virtually talking about AI.
So we, that is gonna be one of the topics at the RAC ECB joint meeting in February, is the use of AI. And one of the things that the computer guru that was there, is it good? Yes. Is it bad? Yes. And then the cybersecurity of using AI and how much information is pulled. We just don't have enough policy and procedure on it right now to really have a handle. And I think some of the presenters or speakers that are coming February 9th, it will be a lot more eye-opening as to how this moving forward is going to be used. So that's all I have right now.
And we'll need more data centers to supply all that AI.
If you get over by Rochester, just look at all the big 4x8 sheets of plywood that are absolutely no data centers. They do not, they're pretty anti about it.
It's controversial.
It is, it's hugely controversial. I mean, it's amazing. You can say two things to it, you know, from, this is what I'm thinking, and it'll pull up stuff that is like, where did this come from? You know, it's almost a little bit scary as to how much information can be pulled, and yeah, it is.
It listens to you.
Can be
agree.
helpful or harmful, either one.
It is, and I just think that cybersecurity is a huge issue, and Andy would be the guy to sit down and talk to.
Yes.
But it was very good, very, very productive, good meeting yesterday. I was finally get some information out of it that you can bring back, so good stuff.
Mr. Schultz.
A busy week too. We had our 3 meetings that Cindy kind of touched on with La Crescent, and Brian's knee deep in that, so.
3?
Yeah, one
You
at
had
the
3
city.
meether already.
One at the city, one Zoom with Brian, and then another Zoom with the committee after that. So, boom, boom, yeah.
Busy.
They're definitely wanting to move forward on a lot of their ideas, so. Have solid waste quarterly meeting this Thursday. A few phone calls over the solar, people questioning getting more involved, which that is good.
Anybody getting letters at home for that?
No letters, I had 2 calls.
Got phone calls, one person stopped, and a couple letters.
Yeah.
A couple letters on the gun stuff too.
Yeah, I got a couple letters on the gun stuff.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty good for now.
Commissioner Myrie?
Wildcat meeting last
I
Thursday.
missed that one, yeah.
I was waiting to see if you were gonna cover for me, but you didn't.
You got her. I was at the meeting.
We did, the Wildcat did pretty well last summer, held our own. Wasn't quite as big a summer as we thought it was gonna be, but, you know, it's, camping is budgets and everybody's got things to do and. But we've talked about putting up a nice shelter and a garage down there so we can have movies for kids. We gotta get something to attract kids. Cause I mean, brings a lot of people in. I mean, we wanna like have movies and play bingo. I mean, on rainy days, our kids can go over there and play bingo and watch movies instead of being down by the water. And if they're down by the water, they gotta be down there to watch them all the time. I mean, we need to find something to bring kids in to get.
That's a great idea.
That's really good.
All movie stuff is cool.
And we could, have popcorn and sell all kinds of stuff. And then we're trying to figure out a way, maybe we could do some hay rides, maybe. I don't know any of the landowners around there, so I mean, we'd have to do a little research. on something.
Liability there.
Yeah.
They're also looking at putting markers in so we don't have the same issues over the lot lines of
Oh,
the
okay.
seasonal lots. So they're looking at cost-effective ways to do that.
To mark out the lots.
To mark out the lots. So they're working with Brian.
Something that we can mow over and not have to move.
Sound like they have some good ideas.
Got some ideas for that were really cost effective.
Any impact from the gravel bike race on the,
Didn't hardly get a camper out of it.
okay, I didn't think so.
He's doing a good job down there.
And
So.
Yeah.
We have no complaints. And I think he's doing a great job, so. And we give him an extra $2,000 and he was happy with that and everybody's ready to go for next year.
Okay.
About it.
I failed to mention I was at an extension meeting too last week, or first of the week. And that was our year end and we went through reviews of, the educator and the 4-H person, so we did that. And there was nothing much new about it, just got our regular reports. I could share that stuff with you too, so she emails that stuff to us, so.
I have one more thing I forgot to mention. Last night I was at the city council meeting for La Crescent, and it was their general fund budget levy meeting too. And I just thought it was so important that, to mention that Kelly and Joe from the assessor's office were there. And not that it was a taxation meeting, but there's always homeowners or property owners that come and have questions about it. So it was really good to see the assessor's office participation in those local meetings. So they were there not to answer questions, but to just say, here I am, contact the assessor's office, and, you know, this is what we do. So, because it's so confusing for people at the.
People get mixed up versus budget
same-
versus appraisal.
Yeah, and, yeah, so maybe we can, you know, try to clarify that, but also I just thought that was good that that office reaches out.
Yep.
It
It was good that they were here that night for ours too.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, any of the departments that are involved, I think that's really key in answering people's questions, because they see the name on the list and they say, well, do I call assessor or auditor, or, you know, I think it's
Be nice
so
if they could
confusing.
Participate in all of them, you know, around the county. That would be nice.
Yeah,
I think they do try.
they try if
think
they
they
know
do.
about it, yeah.
That reminds me that you brought that up. I sent an email to the assessor's office about, from our discussion that night, December 2nd, about what some of the audience, some of the citizens that were there were asking, well, what can we do to go to our legislatures and say, hey, let's try this, or let's suggest some changes in laws and rules, and so he got back to me yesterday. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but he came up with a letter and some points of that would be nice to have changes in the Department of Rev's requirements and state legislature laws, so. Cause I was asked by that, Cynthia, I believe, asked that about, she'd like to see something come back to her on that.
Yeah, yeah, it's important. I mean, and people just don't know a lot of times what they can do, so it's great if people are offering to participate.
Okay. We'll move on to, closing public comment. Anybody like to make a closing public comment? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I take that as a 1 and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.